Well, here we are again, folks. Hopefully, this is all working because, to cut a long story short, I had to do a format on my PC, and of course, I had to get everything set back up. So, hopefully, let me just have a quick check. Hopefully, everything's working. Right, I'll be back in 2 seconds. Right, sorry about that. I was just double checking everything was working. I can see Polamint's there in the chat. Right, anyway. Well, at least he was there a second ago. It's disappeared. I think I've got the chat set for like a minute on screen and then it'll disappear. So maybe I wasn't, I was busy doing something there when that appeared. Anyway, to cut a long story short, the PC's now back up and running, and I have to just get everything set up the way I like it. Now, we're here for Friday Night 9 Ball. Let's have a look and see what the story is as far as people signed up. There wasn't many earlier on. The good news tonight is that if it's a decent enough tournament, I can go all the way with it because I'm on my final week's holiday before Christmas. We'll do a quick refresh here and see how many people are in. Yeah, well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got about 9 in. And it's double elimination, race to 7 on the winner's side, race to 4, I think, unless something's changed on it. Now, where the hell does it say that? Yeah, race to 4 on the losers and a single final to 9. It was moved back to a money ball handicap. Multiple money balls, right? So it's back the way it should have been. So good evening to anybody who's watching on Twitch. If there is anybody, I would appreciate a wee bit of chat just to check it's working, and likewise with YouTube. And because I've got the two of them linked up, hopefully, for the chat to appear on right in front of my screen, so I can see what's going on. So we're about a minute away from the draw going up, and needless to say, looking at the players signed up once again, well, without having seen some of the other players, Tommy the Welder is championship rated, so clearly it should on paper be between Larry and Tommy the Welder, whom I don't think I've actually seen shooting, but hopefully I will tonight. But remember, this money ball handicap makes a big difference with these champion players, because they have to play the game. One Pocket Slim is in as well. I never even noticed that there. Slim, my eyes are getting bad. So there's 3 strong players in. The bracket's been drawn. The event is now active. We'll have a look and see how that's panned out. So we've got Houdini playing Columbus in the first round. Black Jagged's got a bye. Larry's got a bye. That might be bad news for Boris. The two of them might be playing, I think, unless I'm reading it wrong. And on the break, has got a bye. DJ Reedu's got a bye. Slim has a bye. Simanx and Tommy the Welder, they've all got bye, so there's only one first round match, and that's Houdini and Columbus about to get underway. And those other matches will update in a second or two. And we're just waiting in the rooms going up. So Houdini and Columbus, I think I've seen Houdini play. Columbus I don't think I have, but we're going to nip in. Well, Columbus is in the chat now. Well, we might not be going in to see that match because I don't see Houdini. Houdini's escaped again. Right, well that looks as if that match might be knocked in the head unless Houdini's a late turn up. He's got 5 minutes to get into the room. And he is certainly not visible to me in the lobby. I see Columbus waiting out. Columbus should get himself into that room unless he's fallen asleep as well. Well, it looks as if he's gone in now. So he's waiting on Houdini if he turns up. Well, we don't want to just go into an empty room. We want to go in and see some pool. So it looks very like we're going to go in and watch Simanx and Tommy the Welder. We'll nip in there. So Tommy the Welder should be giving Simanx a fair handicap. If we can get into this room, they may well just be lagging off. Well, we can see player 1 in the top of the HUD there is getting the 5 ball as his extra money ball. So that is a good handicap. But it won't help him in this first rack because Tommy the Welder's broke off. And we've already lost the 5 ball, so that's Simanx extra money ball gone. And Tommy the Welder, well, he's going to have to play a decent shot to get on the 6 ball. 6 ball is there for the potting. And this will be the test. Now he needs to watch that scratch in the middle pocket here if he digs into this cue ball. He's digging in. And he's missed the 4. And what's more, he didn't get a shot in the 6. So Simanx, well, he has a chance if he gets the pace right on this 4 ball. He can get halfway up the table there and have a shot in that 6. But he's got to pot all the balls to win this rack. And that looks not too bad. Needs to spin a bit. Well, this is the one, provided he can avoid hitting the 7, he should have an open shot in this 7 ball. I don't know whether he can avoid the 7. No, he couldn't. Well, that's a nice kiss. A nice kiss off the 9. And he looks straight, so he wants to just drop right in behind this 9. Well, he's drawn back. That will do. And the one thing I need to check is my little doodle. If I can get my little doodle to work, which I don't seem to be able to. Now, maybe that's my settings. I think it was. Let's try that again. No, it's not working. Right, just give me 2 seconds to have a quick look. Hang on. I knew something wasn't going to be right here. Back in a second. Right, I'm back again. I'm going to try this again. This might be broken. This is what happens when you set things off. When you reinstall things and things don't quite work. No, it doesn't seem to want to work the annotation tonight. So my little doodle thing isn't working. I should have come online earlier to get this tried out. Well, there's Simank's potting the 5 and he's now 2 racks up. That is most annoying. My little doodle thing isn't working. Well, hang on a minute, hang on. No, still not working. Right, we're going to have to give that up tonight. So, we're going to find out what Tommy the Welder's made of. He's 2-0 down. Of course, under the pressure of not making mistakes here. And that 5-ball handicap of the extra money ball for Simanks is a good handicap because it puts the pressure on Tommy the Welder. He has to pop balls and not miss, because Simanks is more than capable of potting a couple of balls he might need just to win this rack. So this is the important one. And he's got an angle to come in behind the right hand side of that 5-ball for the 5 into the same pocket as a 4, or he can get up the middle. Well, you see, he's went up the middle, but he didn't get enough English on it. He needed left hand side there. He needed left hand side to get that cue ball to come up this way rather than going that way. But he's potted the 5. And now he's out of line. So again, you see what I mean about the champ players being forced to actually play the game and pot balls like they're expected to do. And Tommy the Welder's got himself out of line. And he just has to hope that goes safe. Well, it's not bad. And I don't think that's 6 banks, because I think the 7's in the way. So the 6 isn't a good bank. It won't go. And that cue ball is going to be sitting. That's actually a good bank. Now the pressure's on Tommy the Welder here. He can bank that off that middle diamond in the bottom rail up past the 9. It won't double bank because the 9's in the way. Well, will it? Is it going to get there? Well, I never thought it would make it. I thought he would hit that 9. But he's going to need to pull out another good one with this 7-ball. And that's a good shot. Well, it looks fairly straightforward now. And that's a good pace. Drop right onto the rail, more or less. So Tommy the Welder's going to get one back here. Now, just out of curiosity, is there anybody out there watching this? If you are, could you please just type hello or something in the chat to double check this chat's working on my screen. I saw Parliament there a second or two ago. He's probably fallen asleep already. And there's probably nobody watching. Now, the reason I'm saying if you could type something in the chat is simply because I've not got a second monitor on. So I'm not watching YouTube and I'm not watching Twitch. And if nothing's appearing on the screen here, I'm going to have to maybe put in the URL again. Let's have a wee look at this because I'm not seeing anything. Let's just refresh it and see if that makes a difference. Hang on. Right, well the chat is definitely working because I can see it since I've re-inputted the URL into my little box. So that's definitely working. Right, back to this match. Ball in hand to Simanx. Well, this is where the lower rated player has to prove his game now. He's got the 2, the 3 and the 5 to pot to win this rack. He's overcooked that. Too much juice in it. And this is where the lower rated players have to look at improving their game. And the touch on that was just a bit strong. And this is how lower rated players can improve their game. I keep going on and on and on and on and on about it every time I watch this Friday Night 9 Ball, and that is to get control of your mouse. Spend a lot more time working on your mouse and the pace of the mouse. Practice doing a lag or practice breaking off in snooker. You will get there eventually. Once you get that sensitivity tweaked and you're more comfortable with it, then you'll be a lot more comfortable playing shots because you'll have that sense of control over the cue ball. And Simanx there only had the 3 balls to pot, and that is what's letting the lower rated players down, is just being able to string those balls together. Once you do it, and if you spend enough time and you're prepared to work on your control, you will do it. This is how you improve your game. And once you put all those factors together, when you learn how to get that pace controlled, you then have to then be sure of controlling what you're doing actually with the cue ball. That is to say, you're learning how to move it. So once again, Simanx is left with a choice, a cut or a bank. It's not a good bank, and it is not a great cut either. You're going to have to make this bank, and that is bulleted in. Where's the cue ball going? Well, bulleted in the bottom left hand corner, and it's back to a 2 rack gap, 3 racks to 1. But I'm expecting something from this. In fact, where's this guy Tommy the Welder from? Let's have a look. Oh, Tommy the Welder from Scotland as well. Oh well, that's it then. I'm backing Tommy the Welder against anybody with a Union Jack. Well, there we go. All of a sudden it's 4-1. Well, he's going to have to galvanise himself to get back into this match. 4 racks to 1 down. And that puts him under even more pressure not to make mistakes. And let's look at this 4-9 combo sitting here. It is very, very on, this combo. But Simanx has blocked himself out. Now, I think he can spin around that 8 ball. Right hand English, spin right round it and nudge it. Oh, he hit it too hard. But he's got lucky. He's left Tommy the Welder absolutely nothing. And he can just see a tiny bit of that 4 ball. And he's going to need to be very lucky to get this safe. And remember, if he misses this or leaves this 4 ball on, Simanx has only got to pot the 4 and the 5. Well, as he left it on, can he see past that 9? Yes, he can. Now that cue ball, if it goes forward, is going to run into the 7, I think. He's got to be careful of that. Then he won't have a shot in the 5 ball. Oh, he slammed at it. And, well, this time he's probably not going to get away with it. Now, Tommy the Welder has a gap to get into between that 9 and the 6 ball. It's not a difficult shot. But he's on the 5. I'm disappointed my little doodle thing's not working. I think I might need to have restarted my XSplit, but I'm not going to do that because it's just going to break up the stream. We'll worry about that next time. Oh, he's hung up the 6. Now I never saw a forfeit text coming up in the chat, so I presume that the Houdini match has got underway. So Simax, little gentle 8 ball and a pretty dead straight 9 to go 5-1 up. And of course it's winner breaks. And that one's going to be dry, I think. Well, this is where a 2,100 player has to earn his his rating status here, because these balls are in the open and he has to run the table. Now, anybody that's a 2,100 player and can't run a table like this, you know, it does tend to suggest that the rating could all be accumulated in a challenge room rather than the ability, and straight away he's broke down on the 2 ball. So that might be a bit more of a flattering rating than what he probably should be. But anyway, it's now up to Simax to try and run out. Again, he's played the combo on the 5, the billiard onto the 5, and it actually went into the wrong pocket, but they all count. They all count. It's now 6-1. And, well, it has to be said that Tommy the Welder had a great chance here to run the rack and blew it in the second ball and paid the ultimate price. Well, I presume that was an attempted pot. Well, no shot here for Tommy, so he needs to get wise now, because again, if you're a championship rated player, you have to bring all the facets of your game to the table, and that includes strategy and safety, and you know, if you're 5 or 6-1 down as it is now, you have to work away to try and get back into this match, and that is by not playing loose. Now, once again, there's a chance here that 2 and 9 are close to one another, but he can pot the 1, and he should be able to get on that 2 ball into the same pocket. Now, this is where he needs to be careful, because he's going to be running into the 9 and he has to get out for the 4. And that's going to go in the middle and he'll have no shot. He played it too heavy, but straight away, again he's under pressure, so he's got to look at either playing the good safety or making sure that 4 ball is as hidden as he can get it one way or another, and that needs to keep running, and that's not a bad shot. That has got Simanx in trouble. Can't see the 4. But like I said, if Simanx doesn't get the 4 and gives ball in hand to Tommy the Welder, we've yet to really see his capability, and he's going to have that opportunity now. He's got ball in hand, and he's got the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 to win his second rack, and the question is, can he do it? Now the important one is how good he gets on this 7 ball, and he's dead straight in the 6, so he can only draw back a little bit and leave a long 7. He doesn't want to be getting over ambitious with this 6 ball. And likewise with the 7, if he pots the 7 and leaves the cut on the 8, and cuts that 8, well, again, he's had a slam at it and didn't need to do that. This is where players just don't think you take the easiest option to make your life easier in the next shot there, and that was just to roll that 7 in. And he's probably, if Simanx can pot the 7 and get down in the 8, oh, he's missed the 7. Well, he's going to have a lifeline here, Tommy the Welder, and he's got an angle to push this cue ball right around the table and get on this 8 ball, but he needs to hit it hard enough to avoid blocking himself with a 9, and he's missed the 7. Oh dear, well, this has gone dead straight. Now this is, again, likewise, Simanx doesn't want to try and do too much with this. He just needs to pot the 7. Well, he's drawn it back and he's okay. And this is about pace. A gentle 8 ball, and then just get the cue ball up past the 9 and have that shot in the 9. He's going a wee bit further than he would like, so he's now not looking into the pocket. But this for the match. And once again, had a slam at it. Got to take your time and get yourself sighted. And that could have finished off a bit better there for Tommy. He's got a tough one down the rail to stay in the match. That nearly hit the jaw, but he's got it. Well, stranger things have happened in this game. If you don't take that chance and you thrash at it, then you might never get another shot. So this time Tommy's broke off. He's 6-2 down, and he's got the, what ball went? The 5 ball has gone in a bit. Now here's the perfect example. You look at this table, absolutely no excuse for him not running it, and the first thing he's done is blocked himself out in the 2, and he's going to have to jump. And the other problem now is the 9 is a blocker for the 3 down that right hand rail, so he's going to have to try and get this cue ball moving. And now he's got, the only thing that's in Tommy's favour is that the 5 ball has gone in the break, and that, if you remember, is Simanx's extra money ball. That's the one saving grace that Tommy the Welder's got here. He's now played the safety. Now, another fluke by Simanx. Now, the one bit of advice I would give to anybody who's going to bank a ball in Virtual Pool 4, particularly up and down the table, is that provided you've picked a bank angle to hit that ball onto the rail, is don't slam at it, because when you slam at it, most of the time it's not going to take the angle. You have to give it the opportunity for that ball to run. But hitting it harder is not going to help it run any better. So, Tommy the Welder, perfect opportunity again to get one back. Well, this time we should be home and dry. Drop the 7 into the middle, or just kill the cue ball where the 7 is. So this 9 ball to get back within 3. But like I say, it's last chance saloon for Tommy the Welder. Can't afford to make mistakes. So he's breaking off in rack number 10. And, well, unfortunately, the cue ball has gone in, and it's ball in hand to Simanx. Now, no problem with the 1 ball, and probably no problem with the 2 ball either, but look at where the 3 ball is, up in the top rail as we look, with nowhere to go, and Simanx has finished dead straight on the 2, so there's nothing much he can do here. That 3 isn't a combo with the 7. Let's have a look. No. Now, if he's going to thin cut this 3 towards the 7, he needs to put left-hand English on this to avoid running into the 9 and the 4. Unless he's just going to punch it straight up the table and try and use the 9 and the 4 and the 5 to hide the cue ball. But if he plays this plain ball, he's just going to run into the 9, which he's done. And, well, there's an edge of that 3 ball showing, but Tommy the Welder's going to have to be careful as well. He has to avoid the 7, or he'll just leave the 3 on with the cue ball up at that end of the table. Well, that's exactly what's happened. I mean, you've got to be able to see these shots. You can see the cue ball running straight into the other object ball, and that's going to hold the cue ball up at the same end where the ball on is. But anyway, no damage done. But Tommy the Welder's going to have to jump again. So, 3 balls need potted here for Simanx. The 3, the 4 and the 5. Well, the 4 will cut past the 6 onto that 8 ball that's hanging over the pocket, and just needs to be gentle with it. And he's cut it into the 6. Now what does Tommy the Welder do here? Well, there's a possible combo, and there's a result come in from a second round match, and that's Larry against On the Break, and Larry would have been given On the Break a handicap there, I would imagine, and Larry's won 7 racks to 1, and meanwhile Tommy the Welder using a little bit of tactics. He's going to have to use them again. He can just, if he gets the pace of this right, he can push that 4 towards that end rail and come off the side rail and drop in behind the 5. He's got the perfect angle to do that. He's got to get to the rail though. Has he got there? Yes, he has. And that's a good shot. And I don't think the angle's there to kick that 4, because the 6 ball and the 7 ball are in the way, so that was well played. That was unlucky. Lots of left hand English to punch that cue ball off the side rail onto the 4, and unfortunately Cue ball's running into the pocket, so once again, a perfect opportunity for Tommy the Welder with ball in hand to get another one on the scoreboard. And that's the extra money ball gone. So a gentle 6 ball onto the 8. Now, you've got to be careful with this shot. That's now gone into the edge of the jaw there, and he's got to spin around. See, now he didn't want to hit that 7, and that's just being lucky that that's actually finished like that. But now the cue ball's on the wrong side of the 7. Well, there's a Houdini match. Oh, he's overcut the 7, and the pressure was on there. Houdini has beaten Columbus 7 racks to 3, and meanwhile Simax has slammed the 7 into the middle and has a cut on the 9 into the left middle for the match. And in it goes. Well, Tommy the Welder's going to have to improve a fair bit if he's going to stay in the tournament on the 1-loss side, because he blew his chance here as well, and Simax wins the match 7 racks to 3. So there's 3 results come in. Let's have a look at the bracket, and let's just do a wee speed up and a refresh. So we've got Houdini now through to play Black Jagged. We've got Larry sitting there waiting to play the winner of that match, and in fact on the break was getting 5 and out. Now that's a hefty handicap, so clearly Larry wasn't missing much, or on the break when he had a chance wasn't taking any, because that is a hefty handicap, and Larry won the match 7 racks to 1. That's a good win considering what he was up against. DJ Redo and One Pocket Slim. One Pocket Slim is given, what's that? I can't even see that. Is that the 6 ball? And Slim is up 5 racks to 3. And there's the result come through with Simax and Tommy the Welder. So I think what we'll do now is we'll go in and we will have a look at the Houdini Black Jagged match. Now again, Houdini, oh there he is, he's sitting in the chat this time. He must be just waiting on the alarm to let him know that his room is up. Well, Tommy the Welder's saying he had stage fright, but as I say, it's all very well having a 2,100 rating. When it comes to playing in a tournament, you have to live up to that rating. And sometimes a lot of players spend far too much time worrying about what their rating is in a challenge room than actually worrying about what their game is. And that's 2 different things. I mean, anybody can get a good rating going into a room and just playing all day and stealing points off people, but you have to then prove it when you're in a tournament and live up to that rating, and that's where you're going to get found out straight away. And well, I think a wee bit more wise play and a wee bit more taking your time would certainly help in both cases, not just Tommy the Welder. Simax needs to stop lashing out at some of these balls, because you'll only get lucky so many times. Right, well, it looks as if Houdini's in the room now, so we're going to join that match. Now, Black Jagged, Boris is from Germany, and let's see where Houdini's from. Where's he from? The States. So we're in the first rack, and well, both players are fairly evenly matched as far as the rating goes, so we're playing a scratch match. There's no handicap. At least I hope they're live on Twitch and YouTube. I haven't a clue whether they are or not. I'm just assuming I've got nobody watching. Well. Oh dear, there's a bad one by Houdini. Now, the one thing you don't want to do is keep messaging me. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, you could go to Twitch and have a look there as well while you're at it. Well, a bad miss by Houdini, it has to be said. And a gift for Black Jagged to get off the mark. And it looks as if it's a dry break. So now, if Houdini could have seen that one ball, well, I don't think anyway it would have mattered, because I think he would scratch the middle pocket. But of course, the one is set as a combo with that 9 ball almost down the rail. Not quite. I'm disappointed my little doodle thing's not working. I think I needed to have restarted the program for it to work, but no, we'll get by without it. We'll have to live with it. Now there's a result come in. DJ Redo against One Pocket Slim. Again, remember that's a second round match. There was only one first round match. And One Pocket Slim has beaten DJ Redo by 7 racks to 3. Oh well. That's weird why it's not working in Twitch. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Give me 2 Right, if you're watching this, Max, it's working on Twitch. I've just went to the channel and my Be Right Back screen was up on the screen. So you need to go to Twitch and go to 9ball.com and you'll see it's on there. It's definitely on there. I had a quick look at the channel, and as long as my Be Right Back message is up on the screen, I know that it's working. But the thing is, it might be, again, when people first go onto a stream, you need to check the quality of the stream and the little cog wheel to make sure that it's being streamed in the best quality possible. It should be 1080 and 60 FPS. Meanwhile, back to this match, we've got Black Jagged now 2-0 up against Houdini. Breaking open rack number 3. Once again, it looks dry. And, you know, again, these two players, what they're looking for is a wee bit of consistency. Well, there's a fluke. And he's still on the 1 ball. He's nudged in the 4. And this needs a gentle little draw off this 2, just to hold for the 3. Or a little stun. I think he's maybe got too much angle. Well, he's played the gentle pot, but he's left himself a wee bit higher on the 3. But a good angle though, to get up that table and have the 5 ball into the same pocket. Well, his luck's ran out. because he had collided into the 6. That's pushed everything out of line, and the 5 is blocked off by the 8, which Houdini's made good use of, and he's put Black Jagged in trouble. So this is where it's the old kick and hope. Have a good slam at this and just hope you get lucky. There's nothing much else you can do. Well, he didn't slam it, and he's just left a 5-6 combo. Although that combo's not easy, he might try and roll the 5 into the middle, because that 6 is off the corner and it would stay out the pocket. And meanwhile, Houdini has pushed the 5 into the jaw. And likewise for Black Jagged, this is not a set combo, because that 6 ball is not over the pocket, it's on the jaw. But he's played it well. He actually used the 6 ball to help the 5 in, but can he get the rest of these balls? That's the big question. He's left himself short in this 7. He's sort of in no man's land between the middle pocket and the corner. He's gone for the corner, and he almost scratched. Now, he's not corner hooked, is he? I think he is he? Let's have a look. Oh, that's disaster for Germany. How about that? And that was just all because he got the wrong angle on that 7. It's amazing how simple it is to get yourself out of line and what a little bit of angle will do. But it has to go down as a blown chance for Black Jagged. And this is what I was talking about earlier on. Players who are 1800 odd or 1900 odd, they will always struggle for consistency if they don't work on that cue ball control and that mouse setting. I mean, I keep saying it, and the reason I keep saying it is it's such a big factor in playing this game, is having that comfortable feeling when you're hitting a ball, that you feel that pace of the shot. I drone on and on and on and on about it all the time. I've done it for 20 years, not just in this game. It's so important, and it's so important why the good players at this game are good. They're good for a lot of reasons. They know what they're doing, they know the shots, but they've got that control. They've got that comfort and control on the cue ball. It's a thing that you've got to spend enough time to get that setting that's right for you. You can't go asking somebody what setting. You don't ask what is your sensitivity at, because it will not help you. You have to find that out for yourself, and then work on it. So Black Jagged, it doesn't look set, this 3-7, because the 7's going to the jaw, going to the rail, and well, all he's really done is given Houdini a free go here. Now, can he get that cue ball to avoid everything and get down onto the 5? Well, the 7 ball has helped him. And again, up to the middle pocket, and the pace is just a bit too hard. He's okay though, I think. Let's have a look. He can just see the 6, but he needs to dig into the cue ball a bit here just to get control of it, and he's going to scratch. He didn't get into the cue ball enough, because that line was always on for the scratch. When you listen to that wee voice in your head and it tells you that the cue ball's heading to the pocket, then you have to listen and take evasive action. And straight away, Black Jagged, again, not taking his time enough, just desperate to get the ball in the hole rather than actually potting the ball. And so there's too much scrappiness. There's no consistency. And likewise, Same problem with Houdini. And it's an amazing thing, but you know, these two players could easily solve that by getting that control. Now look at this. This is amazing. Twice in the space of 2 minutes. Blackjack, that's even worse than the last time. That's amazing. Oh dear. Well, it's all very well working the control of the cue ball, but when you end up doing that twice in the space of 2 minutes, then you're really unlucky. Oh dear. And lo and behold, it's 2 racks all. Well, I heard something there. I don't know whether anything went in. No, I thought something must have hit a pocket or something. Right, let's have a look at the angle he's got in the 2. Well, it could actually stun off the 2. Could stun off the 2 onto here and come out for the 3 into this middle. Well, he's drawn back with bottom and left hand English. He's going to have to play another good shot if he's going to pot that 3 into the corner. And he's going into the middle. Well, that's not bad. Again, far too heavy with the shot. Far too much pace. And again, getting himself out of line because that control is lacking. He's just far too heavy with the shot. Well, Houdini. Sorry, not Houdini. Black Jagged, unlucky there. Well, it's lucky and unlucky. He's left Houdini hooked, but the 5's hanging over the pocket. Well, he's got the jump. Now this 6 ball needs to be rolled in to hold the cue ball from running up behind the 7 and the 8 ball here. He just needs to roll it in. He's hit it almost too heavy. He's going to run onto the 7. Is he okay? Yeah, he's okay. Again, my natural instinct there tells me that the cue ball's running into those 2 balls and you've got to be careful with the pace. And now he's out of line. It's a very thin cut or a bank on this 8 ball. And look at the cue ball. Oh dear. Well, he's now right in the middle of no man's land. And again, the scratch is on here. If he's cutting this into the middle, he needs to watch the scratch in the bottom corner. And look at the scratch in the bottom corner. Commentator's eye again does it. So this time, surely, Black Jagged can't hook himself in the middle pocket this time. And it's 3-2. There's just, when you play this game or you play the game in real life, whether it be snooker or 9 ball, your natural instinct as a player kicks in. It's immediately looking at that shot, the scratch is on in my head. That's automatically what's going to happen. When you see the angle that the cue ball is going to come off the object ball when you're trying to pot it, well, there's only one thing in the way, and that was always going to be the pocket. So you have to take evasive action. You have to do something to prevent that cue ball running into the corner pocket. Sometimes you have to take the risk, but in that situation, there was enough room there to do something with the cue ball, and he didn't do it, and he paid the price. So it's now 3-2 to Black Jagged. Well, I would say not so much the last mistake, it's whoever makes the least mistakes. Oh, hooked again, out with the jump stick. Well, it's gone safe. Was that going to nudge in off the 9? Thought it was going to squeeze in off the 9 there. Well, I think the 3 does go past the 6. Let's have a look. Plenty of room. Needs to be gentle, because that way the cue ball will hold for the 4 down the left-hand rail as we look. Well, he's missed the pot. He's got lucky though. Had to play it at that pace to hold for the 4 ball. But he's got cover behind the 6. And this time, Houdini's got lucky. The kick has gone safe. The 9 ball has gone close to the top right hand corner. And meanwhile, Black Jagged has punched the 3 off the end rail into the middle pocket, and he's got the cut in the 4. Well, this could be a bonus. Has to make the most of it. That needs to slow down. He's now potting the 5 into a blind pocket. This cue ball's running over towards the 7. That could do him a favour and hold him for the 6. And that is extremely unlucky, because he played it perfect. The angle to run into the 7 to hold for the 6. And he just didn't quite line up the 5. So it's Houdini who has the chance to tie the match up here. And well, provided he just drops off that 7 ball an inch or so, which is perfect. He just needs to roll the 8 in, and then he'll be rolling the 9 in for 3 racks all. So, Houdini breaking off in rack number 7. The break is dry. And no shot for Black Jagged. Well, he's looking to play the push. I'd be playing the push up at the end that he's at, not down at this end. You know. I always prefer to keep distance, because when you leave the object ball closer to the cue ball, it gives your opponent much easier options usually. Well, Houdini went all out for the bank, but he's got away with it as well. There is a possible 1-7 combo. It's going to have to be made though. It's nothing set in this one. Well, difficult to say what Black Jagged tried here, but the end result will do nicely. He was certainly drawing the cue ball back to get it down this bottom end of the table, away from the object ball, trying to keep distance, and that's worked out pretty well. Well, it's about 9 o'clock and I've started yawning at the usual time, although I don't need to worry about going to bed tonight. But the old body clock's kicked in. I've started to fall asleep. Once again, a good safety from Black Jagged. Now that's an easy kick off the end rail onto the side rail into that one ball, but he's going for the jump. Well, not a bad effort. I didn't think he could get that. Tried to cut it along the rail. But it's ended up a chance for Black Jagged. Plenty of room to go on the 3 ball, so it's all about the pace. Once again, letting the cue ball run out of control with not really a great idea of where the cue balls will end up. They are far too much pace on it again. And ball in hand to Houdini. Well, once again, that is extremely fortunate. Far too much draw on it. It just looks pretty, but it wasn't intended. Well, that might well have done him a big favour. I think, well, I think he can see just enough of that 6 ball to pot it. Well, maybe not. But once again, this isn't guaranteed to get on the 7. It is not a good angle. Once again, if he stuns this in, the scratch is on into the bottom right hand corner, so he's probably going to draw. Needs to draw very, very hard here. Well, he's went for some sort of bank to get the cue ball up for the 7, but you said what I mentioned earlier on, if you're going to play a bank up and down the table, you can't slam it because it just won't take the angle. It just stays straight. And meanwhile, Houdini's had a bash at the 6, potted the 6 and scratched straight into the middle pocket, so Houdini doesn't want to win this one either. And I somehow think this might be an important rack to win at this stage. 3 balls to pot. Can Black Jagged do it and get himself back into the lead? Well, he's completely out of line again. Got to cut it into the middle and he's overcut it. And that's the problem for players around 1900 odd, is getting himself consistently out of line on simple enough balls. And that's the thing you've got to work on. Columbus playing Tommy the Welder, and that would be the one loss side, and Columbus no doubt would have been getting a handicap, and Columbus has won that match. So Tommy the Welder has got a bit of work to do. But he'll have to do it another time. That's his participation in the tournament over. A final rack decider as well. And so, Black Jagged breaks off in rack number 8, leading 4 racks to 3. And again, it's a dry break. But nothing on for Houdini. Other than the... well, I was going to say the safety. Well, that 2 ball makes the pocket a very big pocket. So this should be fairly straightforward. Oh, he's no hooked himself behind the 5. Oh dear. Well, throw this guy a bone. He's digging himself in a hole here. Imagine hooking yourself twice in the space of 2 minutes behind the knuckle of the middle pocket. Unbelievable. But he's played a nice jump shot there. He's going to have to do another good one. Another bank. Now watch the pace in the bank. And this 3. Not too hard. Well, he's decided against it and looking for the safety. And he's got the cover. Now, how's that 3 lined up with the 9? Well, that 3 and 9 are not a bad set for a combo. Got to watch the cue ball. This could be a combo in the 3-9 here. Playing the jump shot over the 4. Well, that's what he tried. Extremely tough shot. And meanwhile, the 9 ball has actually come to the rescue now. Black Jag is going to try the billiard from the 3 onto the 9 with the cue ball here. And just maybe got too much spin on it there. Didn't quite stun it onto the 9. But now the pressure's on Houdini slightly because he is trailing. And that 8 ball going to nudge the cue ball towards the 9 behind the 7. So he's out of line now. So the problem ball is the 6 ball. It's tight on the right hand rail, or pretty tight on the rail anyway. And that was asking a lot to get over that 7 ball at that distance away from it. So Black Jagged now with ball in hand. So he's going to have a 4 and a 5 ball, and it's all going to hinge on this 6 ball. He wants to be playing the 6 ball into the same pocket as that 4 ball. So, well, he might be forced into doing it the other way because of the angle he had there. So he's drawn back. Now this is a difficult one. Because he's close to the rail, he has to try and hug that to the rail and watch the jaw in the middle pocket. Oh, he's played that well. That was a cracking shot. But can he follow up? Just a gentle roll through in the 7. Well, this looks plain sailing now. Just a roll in the 8 and a roll in the 9, and he'll have a 2 rack gap. Well, that was well done, because that 6 ball was always going to be a toughie. So it's now 5 racks to 3, and this time I think that's Black Jagged's first ball in the break that I've seen. Potted the 8 ball and a shot in the 1 and a shot in the 2, but look at where the 3 ball is. Well, he's left himself pretty straight in this 2. There's not a lot he can do with the cue ball. He's tried to squeeze something to move the 3. He's managed to move the 3, but he's not really got a lot on here. That 3 might bank past the 6. What's he thinking? If it runs past the middle pocket, it's not a bad shot. Well, he's got the cover. There's no potting angle there for that 3. And there's another result in. And this time, Simanx has beaten One Pocket Slim by 7 racks to 4. That's a good result. But no doubt, Simanx would have been getting probably a 5 ball handicap again. And that certainly shows he's been taking his chances. So One Pocket Slim goes into the 1 loss side, and Simanx marches on. Oh, Black Jagged's got lucky again. His fair share of bad luck, but well, they say the luck evens out at the end of the day. Well, he's going to have a shot in a 3-ball into the middle here, a thin cut. And again, if he controls the pace, he should be on the 4-ball. Far too thin. Not a. You needed to put a bit of draw on it clearly to avoid the in-off. So the chance is gone, but more importantly for Houdini, it's his chance to try and claw one back. And it's not asking a lot to run this table, but can he do it? This is the important one, getting on the 6. Well, it's going to be into a blind pocket, bottom right hand corner. And he's not cut it enough, but he's got away with it. Well, there's a possible reverse bank on that 6-ball into that bottom left-hand corner. And if it doesn't go first time, it could double bank. Well, again, I don't know what Houdini was playing there, because that 7-ball was always sort of in the way on the bank. And it's given Black Jagged a chance. Well, did he see enough of that to be able to pot it? I don't know, but he's left it on. That's another rack that nobody wants to win. But Houdini has another chance. Now this time this is very difficult. A thin cut, and again he has to draw away from this 7 to avoid the in-off here. It's very, very thin. He's taking it long, which has avoided the scratch, but he's left himself no great position in the 9. And this has to go in one way or another. Oh, that's unlucky. Very good effort. He's hung it up, and it's a gift for Black Jagged. So 5 racks to 3 has now gone to 6 racks to 3. So just one more needed by Black Jagged. 5-ball has gone down in the break, and every ball in the open. Now, what he wouldn't give for a run out here. This is a stage of the match where your wits have to be about you. You have to be on the ball. You know what you have to do. You've just got to roll the 2 in, get on the 3, and make sure you get the cue ball out for the 4-ball into the middle or into that bottom corner pocket or the top corner pocket as we look. Get the cue ball out. And likewise, it's just a little stun draw here off this, gentle off the 4, to leave yourself a similar shot in the 6 so you can draw back for the 7. And he slammed at the 4. That's the difference. You hit these balls hard, and if they're offline, they ain't going in. And this is all about touch for Tommy the Welder. Well, that's a bad... not Tommy the Welder. What the hell am I saying? Tommy the Welder. Houdini. That was a very poor shot. 4-ball, more or less, not quite in the pocket, but he did everything and kept it out of the pocket. So it's Black Jagged with his chance to win the match. I think he's the wrong side of this 6. Aye, he tried to squeeze an angle that wasn't there. And this is not a good bank. The 7 and that double kissed, and it's pretty much gone safe. Or has it? Well, that's very tight past the 8 ball, but it does go. Well, it's going to have to be an 8 ball at distance here. You cut the 7 and get the cue ball back over to the left hand side of the table as we look. The further over to the left you go, the easier it is for the 8 ball. Well, it's going to be long. And the cue ball needs to slow down. And once again, he's left himself in no man's land. It's either a cut to the right middle or the long shot into the bottom right hand corner, but he needs to watch the scratch on this one. And he's played it well, avoided the scratch, potted the 9, and Black Jagged has beaten Houdini by 7 racks to 3. Right, so there's a few results have gone through. Let's have a quick update. Oh, wrong button, hang on a minute. Let's have a quick update on the bracket, and we can see that Larry's now waiting to play Black Jagged, and One Pocket Slim, who Simax is set to the one loss side. Well, he's waiting on one of these other losers coming across. There is one match on in the one loss side at the moment, and that's Columbus, who's getting the 7 ball against DJ Redo. Race to 4, remember, and DJ Redo's up 2-0. So without any further ado, we're going to go in and see how Black Jagged gets on against Larry. Now, immediately, Black Jagged is getting 5 and out against Larry. And, well, Larry can't afford to make mistakes because Black Jagged is good enough to pot that 1 ball that he needs to win a rack. So, the pressure is really on Larry. 600 points more or less between the two players. So Black Jagged, this is not an easy shot, but if he can get this 4 and get the cue ball across the table avoiding the 7, he'll have a shot down the rail for the first rack. And he'll be twitching here. He knows this is all he needs, and he's made a right hash of it. And that there is something that when you're getting a 5 and out handicap and you've got a ball like that down the rail, you simply have to get it. You've got to take your time, sight your shot up, and be confident in what you're doing. And Black Jagged threw it away. He's got lucky though. He's not left anything for Larry, although this does thin cut down the rail. And of course, Larry's always been the player where he really gets a sniffy a shot. Any sort of cut like that, he's going to go for it. But immediately he's got himself in trouble because now he has to get this 6 ball safe. And he's played a good shot. Black Jagged's got no shot in the 6, I don't think. Let's have a look. Nope, can't see any of it. And this is a hit and hope here. And that'll do. So now it's a bit of a lottery, this rack. Black Jagged, all honesty, we should be in rack 2 here with Black Jagged 1-0 up. There's no doubt about that, but it really can go either way now. And that's a great shot by Larry. Lined up the combo in the 6 and the 9. And it's 1-0. And, well, let's think back to that 5 ball down the rail. And we might think about that later on in the match when Black Jagged should have won that first rack. You're not going to get a lot of chances, especially if Larry starts getting balls in the break. But when you do get your chance, you simply have to take it. You can't afford to throw away those chances, especially against a class player like Larry. He'll just wipe the floor with you. Well, tried a little jump shot and he's got lucky. And once again, no real kick shot on this one. Everything's blocking it out, but he's played that very well indeed. Little swerve shot. Cannot get onto the 3 ball. He's far too straight on this 2, but he's got to look at getting safe here. Got to play a decent safety. He's had lots of left spin on that to try and spin the cue ball up the table. I'll tell you what, that's finished a heck of a lot better than I thought it ever would. He's got the thin cut in the 3. Oh, and that is a nice little kiss on the 4. Now, can he get the 4 and get on this 5? It needs to bounce. The more it bounces, the easier the 5 is. Surely he can't miss this. And in goes the 5. Well, that was well done. Because players like Black Jagged are feeling the pressure themselves. They know that they have to pot the balls. And their consistency is what's letting most of the players down against these champion players. But when you do get that chance, I mean, let's be honest, Black Jagged should be sitting here 2-0 up. But we're back all square, and there's the result come in from the one loss side. DJ Redo has beaten Columbus 4 racks to 0. Black Jagged has played the push. Now, a push out like that is leaving an awkward angle in the 1. But again, Larry's going to go for this. He's going to go for the cut into this left-hand corner. Because the 2 ball is more or less wide open here. And he knows if he gets the 1 and he's missed it, he would have had a shot in the 2. Well, he could just see the 2. Larry's always going to go for his shots. Oh, that's gone. That's gone lucky. Cue ball hanging right in that corner pocket. Now, likewise again here, this is an awkward angle on this 1 ball. Now, provided he avoids the traffic, so he's gone for the cut again. Well, he's been lucky this time, I think. I don't think he can see enough of that 1 to pot it. No, he certainly can't. Well, Larry's got away with that one. Well, I know what I'd be doing in this situation. I'd be hiding that 1 ball and hiding the cue ball. And he had to avoid hitting the 2. And he's not done it. That's a poor safety. It really is. And he's going to find himself in deep trouble in a minute. Well, Larry's been fortunate, because if that had missed the 7, that was going to bank into that bottom left-hand corner, and Larry would have had himself hooked. But He's got away with it. Hey, not Larry, Boris. What am I talking about? Oh, that's a good shot. Had to play the jump to the rail to kick the one. Okay, he's not got it safe, but still a good effort. Well, I'm sure the 2 goes past the 9. Oh, I have plenty of room. Well, if he just lets this cue ball roll through, he should probably need to block himself out with the 8 ball here. Have to run off that side rail, I think. And it needs to keep going. And that's not bad. Now, this is the little touch shots that you need. The little drawback off this 4 to leave the 5 into this opposite corner pocket. That's what's, in fact, the more I look at that, the more I think the angle's not great. It's a slight angle on it. He needs to control the pace. He'll go too far and go below the 5. Yeah, well below the 5. And he's now spun round the corner and hooked himself behind the 9. But that was far too heavy. And that is an example of the shots that a lot of players struggle with, controlling that pace on the draw shot. And it's now so that Larry's got ball in hand, and well, I think we pretty much know what the outcome of this is going to be now in this rack. Well, Larry's left himself a slight angle. He can draw off this 6. Well, you see, he's tried a stun, and that's where it's all gone wrong. Played the stun shot to stun onto the rail, and it's a gift for Black Jagged. And that is what Larry can't do. And that's the first major unforced error there by Larry, and it's cost him. And that was all because he got a little more straight on that ball than he wanted to get across. I think it was the 7 he was trying to get on, but he had to play a little draw, and he played the stun. And I think the little, well, personally I would have played the little draw shot more than the stun. And Larry's paid the ultimate price there by gifting the rack to Black Jagged. And it's up to Larry to respond. He's going to be straight in 2. Roll the 3 in. And then he needs to roll through far enough so he's got an angle on this 5. He wants to be just running the cue ball around the corner here to get out onto the 6. So he has to run through slightly on this 3. And that's exactly what he's done. He's got the angle on the 5 so he can run behind, possibly behind the 7 ball there, and out for the 6. That's the intended shot here. And the further up he goes to the left middle pocket with this cue ball, the easier it is to get on the 7. And he's taking his time. Well, you see, the problem with that is he's running away from the 7. He's got the wrong angle in the 6. He wanted to be higher up the table to be playing the 6 into the middle so the cue ball's going up towards the 7. And this is where it can go wrong. And he's underhit that by quite a margin. And now Larry's left himself a very tough 7. And not only that, the tough shot is also getting on this 8 ball, and this is where Black Jagged should be ready to pounce to steal another rack here. Oh, that's a great shot, but is he going to get there? A good cut in the 7. That is... Well, if he hits this hard enough to play the cut on the 8, he's in danger of scratching. He's got to be careful here. This cue ball is going to be running up and down the table to get on that 9. And he's avoided the scratch, has he? No, he scratched the middle pocket. Unbelievable. Oh dear. Well, Larry's shot himself in the foot twice now in the space of 2 minutes. And Black Jagged with ball in hand in the 8 ball has been gifted a 3-1 lead. And that's the perils of the 5 and out handicap for the champion player. Larry knows he can't afford to make mistakes, and maybe in his previous match he was getting away with them, but as I say, Boris Black Jagged isn't that daft that he can't pot a couple of balls to win a rack. And he duly obliged, he's helped himself, and that's got himself 3-1 in front. Well, if you've seen Larry over the years, that's when Larry tends to be at his most dangerous. When he's dug himself into a problem, he's going to do his damnedest to dig himself out of it. And Larry's going to have to play the 4-8 combo in a second or two here. Needs to drop in off that 7 ball, avoid getting hampered by the 7 when he pots this 3, to leave himself this combo on the right hand rail. Oh dear, he's done it again. Unbelievable. Almost scratched. And this time that corner hook's the same bloody pocket. This time Larry's gone and done it. And that is... well, that is a lot of pain here. Because not only is he going to have to try and get to this 4 ball... oh, that's a superb shot, because he's going to hook himself right in behind the 8. That's an excellent shot. Okay, he wasn't playing to hook Black Jagged behind the 8, but he played it perfectly, just glanced off the 4. And the spin on it was naturally going to take it in behind the 8. So Larry has escaped there for a second or two. And now he's got his chance. And he's surely going to get one back here. I can't see where the problem is here. Needs to get out back far enough to take this 6 into the right middle. He doesn't want to be letting this cue ball run. And the way to avoid that is to get right out into the middle like he's done, so he can just drop the 6 in. That's how you make your life a lot simpler. And likewise, just roll the 6 in and roll the 7. And he just wants to kill the cue ball on this 8 ball to take the 9 into the left hand corner at the far end. That's the plan. And this will just be a little drag. A draggy stun on this 8 ball. And that's perfect. So, well... when Larry got hooked behind that jaw in the middle pocket, it was doom and gloom, but he got the magic escape shot, and he kept himself in the rack with that shot. He got lucky on it, but that's what matters in the game, that little bit of luck. And he's now just trailing by 1, and there's a couple of balls have gone in as well in the break. Now how does that 1 go? Well, there's plenty of room to cut it past the 2. It will cut in off that jaw, no problem. And he's played it well, and he's going to drop in behind the 4. Now, this should be another rack for Larry. I'll say that again, another rack for Larry, but, and the big but is, look at where the 7 ball is. That's the one that's going to cause him problems. The 7 there next to the 9 ball is going to be the problem ball. And he has to get good on this 5 ball. I think he's straight on this 4. He's going to have to punch this in to get the cue ball out into the table. He's neither here nor there on this now, can he? Let's have a look. Aye, he's going to try and squeeze this into the corner pocket and just run through and leave a slight cut in this 7 into this corner pocket here. Yeah, it's not perfect. And once again, the pressure is on in this shot here. He should be able to cut this 8 ball down the rail, but it all hinges on this 7. This is not an easy shot. Now, what's he looking at here? He's looking to see where he's going to nudge into that 9 or not. I think he might avoid it. He's just worried about the 9 ball. He's playing this draggy cut on it, on the 7. And he's managed to avoid hooking himself. And he should be home and dry now. Just a gentle 8 ball, no heroics, and just leave the cut in the 9 from distance. So, from 3-1 down, provided Larry knocks this one in, he's got himself back in level terms, but it could have been so much different. But it's still all square now. Back to square. 3 racks all. Larry breaking in rack number 7. Now I think the 7 ball... No, not the 7. What was it? No, it's the 8 ball. 8 ball's going into the right middle. And he's got a shot in the 1. The 2 ball goes, the 3 ball goes down the side rail, and the problem ball in this case is going to be the 4. It's just in a slightly altered position, but Larry's missed the 1. Now here is where it would be a big bonus for Black Jagged. He needs to get to the 5 ball. And this is where the question has been asked as to whether he can string enough of these balls together to win this rack. The 1 ball was easy and the 2 ball is simple enough, apart from the fact he's now left himself close to the rail. So he's got to make sure he just comes around the corner, steal a bit of an angle on this 2 so he can get the cue ball out for the 3. And then his problems are going to start in how he gets on this 4 ball. Now, in all honesty, he should probably just kill the cue ball right where the 3 ball is and play the cut in the 4. Because the 4-7 isn't a combo, it's not set. But he's running the cue ball up the table, and the 6 is the blocker into the middle, so that... Well, and again, he's played that shot where I don't think he's put an awful lot of thought into what he's doing there. You've got to take your medicine. And he'd have been better leaving the cue ball there and playing the cut. So his chance is gone because he's now left Larry the 4-9 combo. So it's all ended up in a mess here. And it's an easy combo for Larry. And Larry's now in front. And he's got a couple of balls in the break. But, and I say but, he's not got any shot in the 1, which is probably the most important shot of the night here for Black Jagged, because look at the lay of these balls. If Black Jagged, if Larry doesn't get a clean hit in the 1 here, and Black Jagged, in fact, Larry's not even doing that, he's playing the push. He can see the edge of the 1. He's just looking for distance. But if Black Jagged leaves this 1 ball on, he's going to lose the rack. That is pretty much odds-on certainty here. There's not a problem ball on the table, even though the 4 ball's down here in the bottom rail. This rack is over if Larry gets in. Well, that cue ball is behind the 8, but it's not close enough, I don't think. Larry's going to dig out the jump stick. Oh well, it maybe was close. Closer than Larry thought. He thought he could get over it, but... Well, this is Black Jagged's most important visit tonight. He's got ball in hand, and the problem ball is the 4 ball. And he has to get to the 5 to win the rack. So he has to get good on this 2 so that he can draw down for the 4. And he's hit all of these draw shots with too much juice on them so far tonight. And this shot, well, he has to avoid hitting the 5. If he does that and he avoids scratching in the right middle, he should have a shot in the 4. And that is perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Well, now you take your medicine, a little draw back off this and leave the straight 5 into the corner. Nothing spectacular. Well, it can only miss the 5. But this for 4 racks all. And in it goes. And that was well done. Under pressure. He knew what he had to do. And he held it together. And the 9 ball has gone in the break. That will come back up and be respotted. The 1 ball has gone. And Black Jagged's got no shot in the 2. He could try hiding the 2 ball behind the 3 and taking the cue ball over to the 6 and 8. Well, he had the right idea. It's just not finished tight enough. Again, Larry will be out with the jump stick. Plenty of room to go over the 8 ball this time. The only thing now is he's got no real great shot. Well, the 3 does go. I thought that 6 ball was going to cut it off. No. The 3 does go. That was a toughie. But it's a chance for Black Jagged. The 3 will cut. And if he can get lucky and get good on this 4, it should be another rack. He has to get good on the 4. Oh, he's cut it into the jaw. And that might be his chance gone. I don't think Larry will miss this cut. And he should be on the 4, no problem. And that is such a fine line to steal one of these racks. Because Larry now, well, once he pots this 4, he's going to have a wide open shot in the 5. Easy enough 6. The only thing is just getting that cue ball from the 6 to the 7. And the reason I say that is because the 8 ball is up near where the 6 is, and he has to avoid hitting the 8. So it's important that he gets a good angle on this 6. And he's dead straight in the 5, which doesn't help. And Larry might draw right up the table here and draw up towards the 8 and try and spin in behind. No, he's tried to just stun out. See, again, he's finished dead straight. So it's got to just be a draw unless he wants to try running around the corner. He's gone for the draw. Needs to miss the 9. And now, this is where it can all go pear-shaped here. Well, Larry can play the safety, but he's more likely to go for the bank. All or nothing. He's picked his angle, he's picked his spot, and he's going to either single bank this or double bank it. And in it goes. That's a good shot. And Black Jagged, well, you had your chance there. Admittedly, it was one chance on that 3 ball. And had you got it, you'd have been in the lead. But you've given Larry one chance too many, and he's going to take it. And there's a result through on the break, and the one lost side has beaten Houdini 4 racks to 1. And Larry goes into the lead for the first time. Or is it the first time? I think it probably is it? Or was he up 4-3? No, he was up 4-3. So he's back into the lead by 5 racks to 4. He's got a couple of balls in the break. And now he's got a 1-9 combo here. Admittedly, it's not a great one, but he's tried to squeeze it past the 9. That's an excellent shot. Oh dear, Larry. Well, this is again where I keep going on about this mouse that he uses. That shot there. When you're using a roller ball, that's where you lose that positional control slightly. Overhit that by a country mile, or underhit it, whatever way you want to look at it. But either way, having to play another bank to get himself out of a problem, and he's done it. So Larry's scratching about, but he's getting the job done. He's digging deep. Admittedly, most of it's self-inflicted though. But either way, he's getting there. But there's the mistake. You get yourself out of shape. You leave yourself awkward shots. You end up giving gifts like that. And all of a sudden, we're back to 5-all. And Black Jagged is back to not being able to buy a ball in the break, is he? Or has something gone? Oh no, something has gone. 4-ball has gone. Never even seen that. Now, how does this 1-ball look? Well, it looks very tight, but he can cheat the pocket here. Needs to just miss the 8, but he can cheat it in off the jaw. And just a bit too heavy. Easy enough for Larry to squeeze that in. Well, he gets this 2-ball, he's going to run through and come out onto the 3 into the same pocket. In fact, he's going to draw off it. So, this match, or this rack, sorry, should be over. Lots of right-hand English, and that's gone wrong because he didn't want to kiss into the 5. He wanted to avoid it and come behind it and take it into that top right-hand corner pocket. So now he's playing a blind cut down the rail here. Should get it though, but needs to watch the cue ball, and he's made a right hash of that. And Larry has gifted another cut here for Black Jagged into the middle. And this quite simply has to go. A gift and a half, it has to go in. And in it goes. And that is how you get out of line. Larry was playing the right shot. He had lots of inside English on it to get that cue ball over to the rail, but he had far too much that he ran into the 5. It got him right out of line. And he made a right mishmash of actually reading the cut down the rail and cut it into the middle jaw. And that really has blown his chance there. And as it is now, Black Jagged sitting on the hill, leading 6 racks to 5. And Larry, from the dry break, it has to be said, Larry now has a chance to stay in the match here. But he's going to have to do something here. Where's that 2-ball going? Well, that is tight, but it will go. It will go past the 3. Well, as long as Larry can get straight on this 4, if he can get out to here with the cue ball, and he's got the angle to get out. In fact, he'd probably go a bit further. He doesn't need to do an awful lot with the cue ball. He wants to be taking that 4 in there so he can drop onto the 5. And he's come off the rail to come out. That needed to go a wee bit further. Needed to be over here. So now he's got a slight problem. The angle that he's got here, he doesn't want to get involved with this 8 and 9 ball. And he's maybe going to try and run through and leave a gap to get to this 5 behind the 9. It's not easy, but if he starts running across the table, he can run into something. And he's got away with it. He's got away with it, and that's worked out pretty good. If I can get this bloody camera to fix. Let's have a look at that, though. Well, as long as he avoids the 9, he can put a bit of spin on it and go through and come out for this 6 down the rail. Get that cue ball moving, though. He needs to punch it in. He's avoided the 9. He's got the spin. And he's got the shot in the 6. And this is all about controlling the pace. And these are tough shots. Well, Larry can come off the left rail over to the right hand side like the middle diamond, and those 3 diamonds in the bottom side of the table here, the right hand side. That's where he wants to get to, and he's just going to punch draw off that left rail across there to the right. Well, he's went to the first diamond, so he's now left himself a bit high. So once again, Larry's put himself under pressure. He wanted to get to that second diamond, and I think he needed a wee bit of bottom left on that in order to do that. So he's left himself sort of plain shot, so he's left himself high. Puts the pressure on. Oh, and he's just squeezed it in. And he's still got the same problem here. If he's going to play the cut just to pot this 8, he's going to rely on luck to get on the 9. He's going to run into the 9 and just rely on luck that he's going to have a shot on it here. If he doesn't do anything with the cue ball, I think he's going to just play it plain ball to pot the 8. And surely this cue ball's going to run into the 9, and he doesn't know where it's going to go. Well, he's actually billiarded the 9 in. Now that's difficult to say that he played it, and Larry didn't play it, so at least he's honest enough to admit that he played the cut and he missed the cut, and he actually billiarded the 9 in. But it doesn't matter. It's hill. Larry breaking in the final rack, and there's the danger straight away. It's a dry break, and the 9 ball's hanging over the top left hand corner pocket. And Black Jagged, well, if he's any sense, he's going to pot that 1 and draw up the right hand rail with not an awful lot of draw, but he can draw up to the middle pocket and play the 2-9 combo. He doesn't want to get a lot of juice in this. Oh, and he's made a complete and utter hash of that. And Larry, well, he needs to be careful he doesn't follow this 9 ball in. And that was really well, that was a crazy shot. But Larry's going to billiard the 9 in here. Pretty certain of it. And in it goes. And from having a chance to win the match there, Black Jagged has thrown it away. And Larry goes through, not unconvincingly, but by the skin of his teeth, 7 racks to 6. And there could have been such a different outcome of that match there. But Black Jagged didn't take his chance. And so Larry's through, 7 racks to 6. Let's have another look at the bracket and see where we are now. Well, Larry's now going to play Simanx, and same problem for Larry. He's given 5 and out to Simanx. And if we look at the 1 loss side, we can see that Black Jagged is now set to play DJ Redo. And let's have a look at this match. 1 Pocket Slim and the 1 loss side playing on the break. And On the Break is getting 6 and out in this race to 4. And Larry's up by 2 racks to 1. Excuse me. And On the Break has now got a thin cut in the 6 to tie the match up. That was well played. So it's 2 racks all. So, looking at who's left in the tournament, on paper, One Pocket Slim would be the second favourite, but he's going to have to battle his way through this one loss side if he's going to do anything about it. And that is quite simply a crazy shot by One Pocket Slim. I mean, whatever you do, don't leave it where you're just leaving the combo money ball shot over the pocket, and that's exactly what he's done. And that was bad thinking. You're just simply going to have to make sure the ball gets to the pocket, or you're just giving your opponent the rack. And so On the Break is now 3-2 up. Well, Slim's got away with that one. He's left On the Break hampered by the 8 ball. He could play the bank on the 1 up to the 3 if he wants. Well, that's what he's going for, and hasn't quite got it. But likewise, he's pretty much got away with it. So that 2 ball had to go in because a ball wasn't going to get to a rail there. And just looking at the kick safe, and he'll be happy with that. That's worked out quite nice there for Slim. No shot in the 1 for On the Break. Fairly straightforward enough kick shot though. I think he can spin round the 7 to get to the rail to hit the 1. And likewise for On the Break, he's left at, well, I say not too bad, but the 1 ball is off the rail, and Slim, being a 1 pocket player, is usually pretty good in the banks, and that is sitting pretty nice for a bank. And in it goes. Now, can he see the 3? Or, well, I think he's got a problem here, because that 3 ball is too deep in the pocket. Even if he tries to come around the 8 ball, he's going to have to squeeze right around it to make any sort of contact in that 3. I don't think he can do it. It's too deep in the pocket. He would go round the jaws. He's going to have to try the kick behind the 5 ball and up the table. Oh, he's well away from that. And, well, remember that On the Break has got 6 and out. So he's got the 3 ball, which he's going to pot. He can roll the 4 long into this bottom pocket here, or roll it into the middle. It all hinges on this shot, basically. If he can get a shot in the 5. But the 6 ball is going to be difficult as well. So let's see what he does. He's gone long. And he's sitting perfect on the 5. That was well played. Oh, that's working out perfectly. Well, he's finished absolutely stone dead on this 6 ball for the match. And on the break, has won by 4 racks to 2, and that's the second favourite out of the tournament. One pocket slim has gone. And, well, the tournament's there for the taking for Larry. And now it's so important that Simanx takes whatever benefit he can out of this 5 and out handicap. And that's the match we're going to join now. So this is the hot seat match. And Larry's got himself hooked behind the 7. He's already 1 rack up. And he's given 5 and out to Larry. And Larry has played the kick safe. Well, I think it'd be worth having a jump at that 5 and playing the bank shot in the 5 if we can get enough pace in it. He's played the kick. How's his luck? Well, he's split up the 8 and the 6, so now they're open. And Larry is surely going to play the combo, the 5-8 combo into the middle. He's going to have to make it though. Cut that 5 across the 8. He's done that. And now he's got a blind pocket cut on the 5. And if this goes in and he can get in the 6, this rack is over. All hinges in the 5. That's a good shot. Very well controlled pace on the 5. Now, I know what I'd be doing. Off the end rail here, bottom rail, right side rail, and back down to the left hand side of the table. So I'd be playing this with a wee bit of bottom. Because there's enough angle there in the 7 to do that. 1, 2, and that's perfect. That's exactly what the manual says to get yourself perfect on that 9. And Larry goes 2-0 up. Cue ball goes in. Where's the cue ball going? Well, whatever way he wants to take this 1 ball, it will go into the top right hand corner or the middle, but either way he's got to read a very good cut on this ball. He's very, very close to it. Extremely difficult to read. In fact, he did well actually getting over the pocket. Not only that though, he's left no shot for Simanx. Now this is where you've got to be wise, because that 5 ball and 7 ball are sort of tied up. Now although Simanx is getting 5 and out, what he doesn't want to do is split them up by accident and not hit the 1. Or move the... He doesn't want to move them, because if he gives Larry ball in hand, he's going to have to make Larry work for this rack. And he's did exactly what I said he shouldn't do, and he's tried to be clever and tried to spin around and clip the 1. He's made a complete hash of it, and the worst possible outcome is he's opened at 5 and 7. So he's now staring at 3-0 here. Well, that isn't the best shot Larry's ever going to play tonight. So now Larry's running around here just hoping he gets on the ball. And he's got himself immediately out of line. And now he's going to try the little jump to pot that 4 into the middle. But this is now where earlier on we watched Simanx having a blast at some of these balls. Well, he's now at the stage where he's staring at 3-0 down and he's got a 5 and out handicap against Larry. You cannot afford to waste chances. You cannot afford to leave things open for Larry, and the fatal mistake was opening that 5 and 7 when the two of them were pretty close together, and that would have caused Larry problems in running out. As it is, he did exactly what you shouldn't have done, and that's got anywhere near those two balls, and it's going to cost him the rack unless Larry makes a hash of this 7 ball. And now, well, that's going a bit straight, but he probably just draw back off this 2 or 3 inches to leave a straight 9 ball. Well, he's just overdone it a wee bit, but he's pretty much okay. Slight angle on it. Right, going back to that shot that Simanx had, he was hooked on the one. The one was hanging over the top right hand pocket over here. Now, if anything, he should have just played the deliberate foul and let Larry try and deal with that 5 and 7 ball. If he didn't think he had any chance or any way of getting to that, and from what he did do, he played a soft sort of spin and misjudged it and spun into the 5 and 7 and just opened him up. It would have been much easier just doing nothing other than playing a deliberate foul and leaving Larry the chance to try and break them open. But anyway, it's now 3-0 to Larry. Simanx has missed his first shot in the 1. Larry's got an open table, and if he pots this 1 and gets on the 2, this rack should be over as well. But that's what's expected of players of this class. But Larry straight away has far too much spin in that cue ball again and has blocked himself off for the 6. Now, instances like this is where Simanx needs to be ready to pounce. Larry's hit the 2 and he's scratched off it. So now Simanx has got ball in hand and it's a 2-8 combo. You don't get goody-goody. You take the chances you get and you pot that 8. You take what you get. You're 3-0 down. It's a 2-8 combo. You don't try and run the table. So it's, again, Larry getting himself out of shape, and he's paid the price this time. But that's exactly what the money ball handicap's all about. To put pressure on the big guys and for them to play to the standard that's expected of them. But it works the other way as well. Whenever the lower rated guy gets his chance, he quite simply has to knuckle down and take it, because he's not going to get too many. So again, Larry's in. Now we can see where the problem lies here. And look at where the 3 is. And I think Larry tried to play that down the rail in past the, was it the 7 ball? And he's been extremely fortunate. But straight away, the 2 ball, honestly, he's not going to kick this, but even then, if he gives ball in hand, Larry's going to have an easy starter in the 2. There's nothing else tied up. I would just play a deliberate foul, in all honesty, and let Larry split these balls up. Or try and tie other balls up, one of the 2. But as it is, they're all lined up now. Well, the only problem I can see here for Larry is getting from the 4 and getting good on the 5. And he's got a little high angle on the 4. It needs a little gentle shot in the 4 to get the cue ball into the middle of the table. He needs to get away from a rail here. And he's managed that. And now he can play the little draw off the 5. And he's managed to get back comfortably on the 6. So now it's just a plain ball shot in the 6 to come out into the table again for the 7. And this 9 ball is probably going into the right middle. And Larry's just going to try and get right up onto that top rail here. As close as he can to the top rail, up where the 8 ball is, and then he can just leave a roll in the 9 into the right middle when he pots the 8. You know, he's got plenty of margin of error. He can just get right around the angles. And even where he is right now is still the same shot. He's just going to use the angle to come off the rail and play that 9 into the middle. In off the jaw. And that's how you run out the rack. You know, Larry's, you know, he's just doing all the common sense things that you have to do in order to run a table when you get the chance. And it's amazing how many of these lower rated players don't think, they're not thinking in their feet. Look at this table here. Larry's broke off. The table is wide open. And even I'm looking at this table, even the fact that Simax hasn't got a great shot in the 1. You know, he's played the cut onto the 3, which was excellent. The 1's now gone over the corner pocket. He plays a gentle 1 ball and he's on the 2. You know, even I'm running this table. Not that gentle though. He's not hooked himself behind the jaw, has he? Oh, you're kidding me on. I think he's okay. He's okay. But you just have to look at the pace you're playing in the shot. And, well, that's extremely fortunate. That is extremely fortunate. That has got to hurt. Oh, that's a jammy bastard, that one. Oh, dear. Anyway, whatever way you look at it, it's now 4-2. Oh, and there's another bit of good luck. Oh, no, it's not. It's low foul was made. Ball in hand to Larry. But anybody watching, I don't think there's anybody watching, but anybody watching, just watch what you're doing. Your ball in hand. You've just got to pot the 1 and go on the 2, and Larry's completely fallen asleep there. Well, there you've just seen the worst shot of the night. Larry's so obviously thinking about getting on the 2, he's completely taken his eye off the 1 ball. Totally forgot all about putting it in the hole. And Sanks has a chance. But once again, he's rushing it. Desperate to achieve success, you have to slow yourself down. Got to take your time. Use your shot clock when you've got a shot clock. Because you don't see players like Larry rushing to take their shots. It's a case of setting yourself, taking your time, lining yourself up, thinking about what you're doing, and achieving the goal, which is running out the rack. And even this shot here, it's just a simple roll through in the 6. All you have to do is get yourself as straight as you can on the 7. Now you see that shot there, Larry's left himself a bit more angle than desired. He's going to draw up past the middle pocket here. It's a wee bit tricky. He just has to be careful. If he doesn't play the draw, he's going to come off the rail and come across. He's played a gentle draggy shot. And that still gets the job done. And there's a result come in there. On the one lost side, DJ Redo has beaten Black Jagged 4 racks to 2. And Larry is just working on the pace to go over to that right hand side here by the middle pocket. As far up as he can. And that's perfect. That's how to run out the rack. It's so plainly obvious when you see the lay of the balls. You take your time. You play the right pace of shot. And you get yourself on that next ball. It's a simple thing to run out when the balls are open and you know what you're doing because you're taking your time and thinking about what you're doing, and half the players don't do it. And it could be so much better. But as it is, Larry's now 5-2 up, couple of balls in the break. What's gone? The 3 and the 5. He's got a 1-8 combo here. Well, he had to play that with a bit of pace to actually get the 8 ball to the pocket. He had no idea where the 1 ball was going. But luckily for him, he's left it safe. Well, I think Larry's lining up the cut into the right middle, and if he runs up the table far enough between that 6 and 4, he's going to have the 2 into the middle. I think he's got the angle to do that. He just has to judge the pace on this 2 ball. But it might, I think it's too much of an angle. He's having to dig in, and he's just hoping to hold it. And he has left a cut. Thin cut. Well, anywhere behind the 4 bar there where he's blocking off by the 9, he's got to surely have a shot in this 4 ball if he makes the 2. Oh, he's left it. Well, here's your chance. You're not going to get a better one than this. And it's got to be the 2, the 4, and then the 6 ball. Oh, he's no man's land. Well, he's got a chance of a safety here. Pushing that to the end rail and using the 6 as a blocker. He's got to judge the pace though to do that. You've got to be confident enough to do it. He's went for a slam at the bank. Again, hitting those banks far too hard. And Larry, well, if he pots this 4, he's got to avoid hitting the 8. It's not an easy shot. And he's avoided hitting the 8. And he's sitting pretty on the 6. And he'll probably play this with a wee tad of left-hand English. I don't know whether it, I mean, looking at the angle he's got, he might even just play it plain ball so that he can come up the middle of the table. Oh, he's got a little bit on it on the right-hand side. Left-hand English would have squared it up the middle of the table. And now it's a little bit of bottom and right to come across this left-hand side. And that is perfect. You can go forward around the corner, and this 9 ball to take Larry to the hill. So Simanx now at the point of no return, and Larry has broke off. Well, now he's potted 3 balls in the break. He's sitting pretty in the 1. This match is over because the 7 goes down past the 8, no problem, into this bottom left. And well, Larry would need to have an absolute nightmare if he doesn't run out here. Well, he's certainly going to leave himself problems, because there's the poor shot again. That stun off the rail just wasn't there, and he's left himself the awkward cut in the 5. He'll be on the 7, no doubt about that, but he has to get this 5 first. Blind pocket, and in it goes, and as straight as he can get on this 7 would be ideal. Let's have a look at it from this side. Can he drag off that 7? Yes, he can. He can just drag off it and drop behind the 8. And that was an excellent break. That's the sort of break you want for the final, for the rat you need to win a match. 3 balls in the break, sitting perfect in the 1 ball. And, well, apart from that 5 ball, pretty nigh perfect way to finish a match. So Larry marches on, 7 racks to 2. He wins against Simanx. Simanx moves over to the 1 loss side. And if we look at the bracket, we'll see that Larry's sitting in the hot seat in the final, and he's going to have a break for, well, let's say, well, it could be a good half an hour or more, because Simanx is in the 1 loss side final, and DJ Redo and On the Break are in the middle of their match, and it's 1 rack all at the moment in that match, and the winner of that match is going to play Simanx. So we'll jump into this room, and the tournament's been on for, what's that, 142 minutes, so yeah, 2 hours and 20 minutes. Started at 8 o'clock. I'm still here. I've had my 1 yawn at 9 o'clock, and apart from that, I'm in my 2nd wind. I'm seeing absolutely no chat whatsoever come up on the screen, which tends to suggest that absolutely no one's watching. And either that or my chat isn't working, but I'm pretty certain the chat is working. Yes, it is. Now, I've just looked at the chat. For some reason, I'm seeing the chat when I actually tab out. I see Simon Lacey saying we are here, and yet I'm seeing nothing in the screen. Right. Give me 2 minutes. I'm just going to kill this down and come back on in a second or two, because I think I need a restart. I will be back. Anybody that's watching, I will be back ASAP. I'm just going to do a quick shutdown and a restart. Hang on. Right, guys, I'm back. Hopefully everything's back up and running. I think that because my little my little doodle thing's still not working, I think there's something going amiss with this XSplit Gamecaster since I reinstalled it. As I said when I started the stream tonight, I had to do a format on my PC. I had to do a Windows install where I was keeping the files that I had. I don't have a lot on this PC because I mostly just use it for games anyway. But I had a problem, and when I tried to make it better by doing, first of all, I'll tell you where the problem started. I did a, what do you call it? I did a system restore as the cheapest option to resolve a problem, and the PC came up saying what did it say? It basically, whatever it said, I can't remember what it said, but it basically said it couldn't complete the system restore, or it didn't resolve the situation. And I thought, right, I'll reinstall Windows because there's been a lot of crap going on in the PC for quite a while. I'll do a fresh install of Windows without losing all my files. And then when I did that, I could not get Steam to work. Steam wouldn't open. It said that Steam wouldn't work in the PC, so I looked at Google, because I could get online and everything. I looked at Google, and seemingly there's a few people had problems with Windows 10 and Steam not installing in the PC after they'd done the most recent update. And I thought, Jesus Christ, so to cut a long story short, because I don't have a lot of stuff in the PC other than games anyway off Steam, I thought, right, I know what I'll do. I'll just do a full reinstall. So I did all of that, did a fresh clean install, everything's up and running, Steam's all working fine. And since I've reinstalled XSplit Gamecaster, and since I've just tested it tonight, things seem to have gone a wee bit haywire with it, because my little doodle's not working. Even though I've got a button configured for it, it just seems to refuse to work. And it is the same button that I use all the time. I don't know what the hell's going on, and it's really annoying me. And which is the main reason I use XSplit Gamecaster anyway, because I like to use the little doodler to explain a shot, or to show a line that a shot's going to take. I quite like doing that. And it is bloody frustrating. Let me have another look. And the other thing is, when I tab out to go into XSplit Gamecaster menu, the stream still works. You guys can't see that I'm looking at the chat window thing, but I'm not seeing the chat going up on the screen either now. And that's driving me even more mad. Right, and it's telling me the two channels are connected. I've just double checked it again. It's bloody frustrating. I think I'm going to have to do a clean install of Gamecaster. Anyway, forget all of that mumbo jumbo. Back to the important issue here. We've got DJ Redo and On the Break. And I should have mentioned that On the Break is getting the 5 ball as his extra money ball. It's just a race to 4. And On the Break, well, provided he can draw off this 2 far enough up the table. I think he's got the wrong angle. Well, that kiss in the 9 helps. And if he can avoid the 8, and he can drop the 3 in, and somehow get a shot in the 4, he should be home and dry here, because the 5's up that end of the table. Now, the difficulty here is if you pot the 3 and let the cue ball run, you're bound to hit something. Well, he's missed the cut in the 3. Likewise, DJ Redo needs all of these balls to win this rack. Well, he's kissed into the 7. The cue ball is running too far, and now he's got no shot in the 4. And I'm thinking as well, earlier on this afternoon, I was doing a couple of recordings on XSplit Gamecaster while I was in Virtual Pool 4, and I was actually talking just to check volume levels and stuff, and I thought, oh, everything's working fine. It never even occurred to me this afternoon to check my little on-screen doodler thing. I never even thought about it, and now I'm checking it tonight, and damn thing's bloody not working. What a numpty. Right, so ball in hand for DJ Redo. 2 racks all, 4-9 combo, and he's 3-2 up. So he's on the hill, and remember, the winner of this match is going to go through to play Simanx in the 1-loss side final. DJ Redo breaks off. 3 and the 8 balls all tied up there in the top right hand corner. the break was dry. Well, this is where I would get right mean and dirty here with this 2-ball. I would hide this cue ball and try and lock it behind the 8 and the 3 if I could. I don't know whether the angle's there to do that. Oh no, the 6-ball's maybe a bit in the way. In fact, I'd be more inclined to cut the 2. Well, he's had a slam at that. Cue ball's managed to run round and nudge in the 4. I think that's probably the most frustrating thing for players when they're giving away money ball handicaps is certain players having a slam and getting lucky. That was a good shot in the 2 though. Likewise with this 3-ball, absolutely no shot. You would be thinking about playing a good safety, thin off the 3 and try and find a gap. And look at this, he's fluked to 9. Unbelievable. That is so infuriating, but it's 3 racks all. It's a final rack decider. And the 8-ball's going in the break, so that's going to get respotted. Or am I just blind? Oh no, sorry, he's only I was thinking it's 5 and out. He's only getting a 5-ball. There's my first mistake tonight with a handicap. I was thinking it was 5 and out. He's getting a 5-ball. That's why the 8-ball stayed down. Well, that's perfect. That is a perfect angle to get that cue ball up onto that 4-ball. That nudge in the 5 will do nice. A little gentle roll in. Now the problem of course is the 6-ball. 6-ball's going absolutely nowhere, and the angle is there with a bit of top and left English to nudge up towards that 6 and 9. And he's just chickened out. He hasn't got enough pace into it. Now he could get mean and dirty here and punch the 6 around the table. Is he going for the thin cut? Yeah. Well, that might be his worst decision of the night. I would have punched that around the table and left the cue ball behind the 9. But remember, on the break, his money ball has gone now, the extra money ball, so he's got to pot the 6 and the 8 and the 9, the 7 and the 9 as well. And he's overcut the 6. So, DJ Redo, it's all there for the taking. He's dead straight in this 6 though. Let's have a look. Oh, that's ugly. Well, this is not the shot you want. Yeah. That is not the shot he wanted in the 7. So, on the break. What's the angle like? Well, the angle is perfect on this 7. Run off the side rail and across, and he's slammed at it and he's fluked the 7. Oh dear. No position in the 9. Because he hit it far too hard. So now he's got the bank into the right middle pocket. And, oh, it's hung up off the jaws. Well, neither player wants to win it. But DJ Redo's going to have the best chance at winning it. With this 9 into the left middle. And this time, there's no return. DJ Redo beats on the break by 4 racks to 3. And just confirmation, once that results come through, DJ Redo is going to be playing Simanx. And straight away, that was quick, the handicap has come up. Now what the hell does that say? Because I cannot, I'm sitting right in front of the PC, and even that way, I think it's a 5-ball. Is that the 5-ball that Simanx is getting? So this is the one lost side final. I'm going to have a quick drink. Well, Simax is in the room. Now, DJ Redo, he's maybe going to the bathroom for a minute or two. Maybe getting a drink or something. And while he does that, I'm going to blow my nose. I'm just going to mute the mic so you're going to hear a click. Yeah, it's strange how a couple of the features on this Split Gamecaster don't seem to be working properly. The little doodler thing in the chat's not appearing. That's got me bugged. It really has. So again, GD Redo probably waiting on the alarm ringing for him. Just a reminder that players will get, I mean I presume it still works that way, that they'll get an audible, any player in the tournament gets an audible warning letting them know that their room is up. I think you certainly get a couple of warnings just to get you to go in, so you've got 5 minutes from when that room appears to get yourself in there, and if you don't, you will forfeit the match. Because right now, there is nothing going on. Larry is just in, knocking a few balls about, keeping himself warmed up, waiting on the outcome of this match to see who he's going to play. Right, we have the 2 players in the room. They should be lagging off. That's why we probably can't get into the room. Oh no, we're underway. And remember, a reminder, it's a race to 4 in the 1 loss side. And player 2, who is Simax, has just won the first rack, but he's getting the 5 ball as his extra money ball. Oh, another fluke in the 9. And it's 2-0. This time it's a dry break. Now, can DJ Redo see enough of that 1 to cut it? Yes, he can. Kissed into the 2. 2's now. Well, that'll drop into the middle, no problem. And if he gets the cue ball out far enough, he'll be able to squeeze that 3 past the 4. That was a good shot. Nice pace. Well, he's going to have his work cut out to have any success in this rack, because that 5 ball's pretty much safe as houses next to the 7 on the right hand rail. I'm trying to sneak over behind the 6. I didn't quite get it. The connection to the game server has been lost. Trying to reconnect. Well, that's the first time I've ever seen that with a countdown on it. I've never had that before. Oh, that's room re-entry failed. There is most likely a connection issue. Well, I have never had that before, and I'm just looking to check. I'm still online. My router's working okay. And I'm probably booted out to the lobby. Yeah, Larry says boom. I presume did you get booted there, Larry? If you're watching this, because that's the first time I've ever seen that message come up on my screen. I've never had that. Never ever had that with a countdown on it or anything like that. That was weird. And that red dragon. Oh, aye, there's everything restarting now. So it was across the board then. I mean, it looks as if a lot of guys didn't get kicked, because that's all the ladders and tournament things coming up on the screen. Anyway, let's get back into this room. I think it looks to me like both the players get booted as well, because that cue is sticking through the 6 ball. I don't think everything is 100% here. I think... in fact, to be honest with you, I think these 2 guys' names in this room might well be ghosts. I'm not sure whether they're in the room or not. It doesn't look like it. It might be that they've not quite disconnected yet. Well, yeah, there's no shot clock, but if you're seeing what I'm seeing, Larry, I'm looking at the 6 ball with the cue ball aimed. The cue stick aimed at the cue ball next to the 6. And the cue is going through the 6 ball, which means that everything is pretty much frozen as we get kicked. And I don't think these 2 players are here. I can see DJ Redo and Simanx listed in the players, but I don't think they're here. I think they both need to do a restart if they can hear us. But I don't think they can. I don't think they're here, because there's none of them typing in the chat, which tends to suggest that's a situation. And I think it might depend on what everybody's connection's like as to whether you actually can get back in. But I don't even think these guys are here. I think I'll leave the room anyway. Probably a good idea. Right, now I can see DJ Redo listed, so he's shown has been in a room. And well, the main problem is that, right, Simanx has just gone because he's now disappeared. So that could have been part of the issue. He's finally disappeared out the room. He's now rejoined us. And DJ Redo, well, it looks as if he's still locked in the room. I'm going to message him anyway. Whether he gets it or not, I don't know. There, I've sent him a message anyway. Whether he's actually there to get it, goodness knows. Now it's showing 2 in the room and now it's showing 1. Now that looks like DJ Redo has gone and Simanx is in the room. Now maybe he did get my message. But either way, well, Simanx is in the room. DJ Redo hopefully is just doing a quick disconnect and restart, and DJ Redo has arrived. Yeah, he was a ghost. That's what I was thinking. Both players were ghosts. So it should be okay for DJ Redo to get back in. And hopefully all within the time that the match doesn't just get forfeited either way. Now, I'm still only seeing 1 in the room. Simanx has now left the room for whatever reason, I don't know. He wants to get his backside back in quick. Right, that's 2 in the room. Let's go in and have a look. And I think we're all good to go. Looks like it. We're up and running again. And the cue ball is now, or the cue stick is now not sticking through the 6 ball. We're up and running. 5 ball still tied up next to the 7. Well, as I say, that's the first time I've ever had that message come up my screen, and all the time I've been playing Virtual Pool 4 online, I've never had that, unless it's a new thing, telling you that I've lost connection to the server and telling me that I couldn't get back into the room and a countdown clock. Never seen that at all. Anyway, things are about to change here because Simanx has hung the 5 over the pocket. Now, DJ Redo simply has to do something here. He has to do something to get rid of that 5 ball, and he's trying to keep the 4 safe, and he hasn't done it. And Simanx just has to cut this 4 down the rail. Well, that wasn't the wisest shot DJ Redo's ever going to play. And that's just an open invitation to cut that down the rail. And provided Simanx can get past this 8 ball, well, he can get by there with a double-decker bus, and the cue ball doesn't scratch in the middle, it's going to be 3-0. So, Simanx breaking off. Now the 9 ball has gone in, and that definitely will come back up. And Simanx remains at the table. He's on the 1. 2 ball hanging over the top right hand corner. 4 and 5 are tied up. Now, if he gets a good angle on this 3, now, well, that 6 ball needs to get out of the way. Well, if 6 ball's out of the way, now that's a good angle to come off that side rail and get down into this 4 and 5 ball. Well, I haven't a clue what he was trying there, but that certainly wasn't it. He had to fire off that side rail across to the other side rail or directly into the 4 and 5. Well, he's got the kick, and, well, it's not safe because that is a pretty good 4-6 combo for DJ Redo. Well, he's had a slam at that. 9 ball going close to the pocket. He needs to play this a bit more delicately than the last shot he's just played, because he wants to get on that 5, and he doesn't want this cue ball to be running as gentle as he can. Well, he's letting it run. Oh, well, that's just pure luck. It was not the way to play the shot, but he's got away with it. But he's no maybe going to get away with this, because this is not ideal. Let's have a look behind, see what he's got. Well, he's got an angle so he can draw off the 8 and draw in behind the 9, or he can run forward with pace. And totally hit it offline. Well, likewise, Simanx for the match. Just basically has to get the cue ball down the table without hitting a jaw and scratching. Oh, that was bad. That really was a bad shot. That is the worst place you could ever leave yourself. With a whole area, I don't know how many square feet of table there is, but you cannot leave yourself there in a 9 ball when all you had to do was pot the 8 and go into the 9. And he's scratched. Well, this is a comedy of errors. This is how not to try and win a rack. Well, that's a gift for DJ Redo. It should have been all over. And, well, there's always those racks or those particular shots that turn a match. And if ever there was one, it's that pot and that 8 ball there, Simanx. Not getting yourself on the 9. You might never get a better chance to win the match. So DJ Redo pretty much blocked out on the 1 ball. He can see half of it. 9 ball tied up in that left middle pocket there. Right on pretty much not quite the point of the jaw. And, well, a good angle on that 2 ball can free up the 3. The 3's not in the best of positions there, near the 6. But we've got a bit of a mess to clear up first before we get down that end of the table. Again, half a ball for DJ Redo. He's had a blast at it. The 9 ball is now free and very adjacent to the middle pocket. So that's a danger for both players. And now I think we're pretty much at the hit and hope stage here. Having a slam and just hoping for a break of the ball. Well, whatever happens, he's going to get second prize. Now, can he make the angle? Plenty of room behind the 5 ball to get the angle to hit that 1, and he's hit. Oh, that was unlucky. You would have thought that 1 ball had to go in if you hit it. Just rattled in the jaws and come out. And he's just run too far out with the jump stick. Or have a kick at it. Either way, it's not a difficult shot to kick the 2, but probably if you're half decent. Well, that's actually not a bad shot. I mean, he could have jumped that and hit the 2. Now, I don't know whether he has a jump cue or not, but either or, let's assume he doesn't, or he doesn't like jumping. He done the right thing in potting the 9 to take it away from the danger area. Now, that shows you he's actually thinking about something. And you don't see an awful lot of evidence of that from a lot of players, but, you know, it was the right thing to do because it forces Simanx into trying to run the table up to the 5 ball. And the problem is, he's going to do it, so it's going to backfire in DJ Redo. Well, or is it? Simanx has missed a 5. Well, if ever you're going to have to back yourself here, it's right now. Gave away the deliberate ball in hand of the deliberate foul. And now he's going to have to keep this 5 ball safe, or at least get rid of it before Simanx does, or this match is over. Oh, again, that was unlucky. Had pretty much the right line within a fraction and just hit that knuckle of that middle pocket, or it was going to go right into the 5 ball. So now DJ Redo is going to get rid of the major problem here. The major problem being that extra money ball. So the 5 is now gone. And can he hold himself together to get these 4 remaining balls. Well, no, if he misses that, well, that's actually turned out not too bad. That could have been really ugly there, in behind the 8. And not a lot to do here. Needs to slow down. Oh, that's not bad. I'd be playing this top with a little bit of right just to spin it, and that's pretty much what he's done, just to check the cue ball. And a fairly straight in 9. Well, that shows you that thinking a wee bit does work. Okay, the match should have been over. Simanx missed that 5 ball, but DJ Redo potted the 9, gave away ball in hand, got rid of the danger ball, got it respotted, and in the end it did work out for him. So it's now back to 3-2, and DJ Redo's still in it. And a ball in the break, a shot in the 1, and an extremely thin one in the 2 if he wants to try and cut that in past that 9. And you would think he would have a shot in the 3 if he managed to do this. Cue ball's got to come down the bottom end of the table here. Well, if you're going to go for it, you've got to go for it 100%. I don't know what he was trying there, whether he was, I presume he was going for the pot, but he chickened out in it. And the other thing is, he's nowhere near on the 3 ball. He had to get the pace in that to get out for the 3. And Simanx has hooked him. And now Simanx has got ball in hand. Once again, we're in a situation here where Simanx is getting the 5 ball as the extra money ball, but the good news for DJ Redo is, of course, the 5 ball has gone. So Simanx is going to go for a what you would call a desperate 2-9 combo at this distance. And he's had a slam at it. Where's the 9 going? Oh, jeez, it's hanging over the pocket. Well, now Simanx, DJ Redo's got the same thing. Now, he's looking at this too. I'd be potting the 9. I'd be potting the 9 and giving ball in hand, because the 5 ball has gone. And he's got to get that 3 safe. And he hasn't. He's left it wide open. So here's the invitation for Simanx. And the 7's over the pocket. Everything's wide open. Oh, Jesus. What the hell's he done here? Oh, that's tight. That is very tight. In fact, it's far too tight. He's had a slam at it again. Where's the 8 ball going? Oh, Jesus. Oh, I hope that Simanx. I hope you put a lottery ticket on tomorrow, because you are some lucky boy. And again, slamming at it far too hard. And the 4 balls hung up. And DJ Redo surely has to get this to a final rat decider. I mean, even on my worst day at this game, I've got to pot these 3 balls. I cannot miss. Straight in 6 ball, drop the 7 in, and drop the 9 in. And don't try and be clever and pot the 7 and run into the 9. Well, he's doing it. It's risky. I wouldn't have done it myself. But he's got away with it. And anyway, we're into the final rack decider. Simanx is the luckiest guy on the planet. With some of the stuff he's got away with there. So DJ Redo has broken off, and it's a dry break, and a nice cut in the 1. How's he's locked in the 2? Let's have a look. Has he found a gap? He certainly has. Well, now is where you get your head together, because you've got a 2-ball. You had to get the cue ball out past the 9 to have a decent shot in the 3, and then get on that 4, and he's left himself short. Again, a slam at the 3, no need for it. And it's gone pretty much safe. And that's a good shot. That spin will take it in behind the 4. Well, he's got the prize. Played the good safety. DJ Redo's now got ball in hand and needs to pot all of these to take him through to the final. To play Larry. Well, if anything, he's made the 9 slightly more awkward. If only because you're going to have to get down onto the 9, depending on how he finishes on the 8 ball. Or up for the 9 as we're looking at it. Well, that's going to be a straight. Well, he's got a little nudge there. That's not too bad. Now, the question is he brave enough to get a lot of draw into this, or does he just want to roll through? You can play it either way if you're confident enough. He's left himself the higher angle. But it is, most of the time, it's about keeping it simple. And this is as simple as you can make it. Now, this is what I mentioned earlier. He has to get good on this 8 ball. He has to draw back, really, to get on this 8. He needs to come back 2 or 3 inches. He's gone forward, and he's not any further forward. He needed to be straighter on this. He needed to be somewhere like there. That would have been perfect, to stun it in and just either a soft draw or a stun down for this 9, because that 9 is awkward if you don't get a good angle in the 8. Now he's got a danger of running into the 9. And you see he's letting it run. Where's the cue ball going? Oh, well, that's how you pay. Well, you paid the price of not getting good on the 8. And you deserve all you get. Because the cardinal sin was not getting good on the 8 there, considering where the 9 was. And so Simanx has gone through 4 racks to 3. Well, this is going to be a chance for revenge for Simanx, provided Larry's still awake. How long have we been going now? Well, it's saying 39 minutes since I restarted it, but the tournament's been on for just on 3 hours, and we're now down to the final. And it's going to be Larry playing Simanx in tonight's final. And this is the first tournament I've went all the way with for, well, since my last week off, whenever that was. Get a quick drink. So, Larry had a, what was it, earlier on, I'm trying to remember, in fact that's the wrong thing. Get to the bracket, where is it? What was it, 7-2 or something earlier on? Yeah, it was 7-2. So it's going to be the same, 5 and out for Simanx. We're in the first rack. And again, straight away, I'm looking at the table and I'm thinking, where's the problem here? The only problem that there's going to be in this rack is Larry getting himself out of shape some way or other. Because the balls are all sitting there for the taking, and it's all plain and simple. Just do the right thing, play the right pace of shot, get yourself on the ball, and make sure you don't lock yourself out. Now he's gone a bit further than he would like, but he's got plenty of room. Big window to get onto that 5 ball over on the right hand side. Between the 8 and the 6 ball. It looks like. Right into the middle of the table and right over to the right hand side. He's avoided the 8. Excuse me. And, well, I suppose the right shot would be to come down the bottom side of this 6 ball, come right down to this bottom half of the table. But he's going to leave it long. And the straighter you can get on this 6, the simpler it is to get yourself on the 8. So really he just needs to kill the cue ball here. Well, that's how you run a rack of balls. If the balls are all open and you do what you do, you clear up. It is so simple to do. As long as you can manoeuvre the cue ball and get the cue ball to do more or less what you want it to do, then, you know, more often than not, you're going to run the table if the balls are there. And so Larry comfortably wins the first rack. He's broken off in the second rack. A couple of balls in, but no shot in the one. But once again, if you've got the opportunity, you bury your opponent. And again, same as the last rack. Perfect example here. Ball in hand for Larry. And all the balls are sitting wide open. So all he's doing is just plotting his way out here. And the one thing he wants to do is make sure he doesn't leave himself dead straight in the 2, and he hasn't. He's got that nice little angle, the cue ball been closer to the rail than the 2, and that gets him out onto the 3. And the same again, he wants to get closer to the rail than the 5 ball on that top rail, and that gives him the angle to come down for the 7. If he doesn't get closer to the rail, he wants to be further away from the rail than the 5. Either way, he just wants to leave that angle. So, as you see, he's left, well, he's actually got higher up the table than the 5. So he's got the angle to either spin down for the 7 or draw off it. And it looks as if he's drawn off it, just to come off the rail and stun up. Well, he's nudged into the jaw, and that's where it's gone wrong. But it has to be said, that is a pretty damn good combo. Bank, that 7 ball. Just aiming it right on that middle diamond. And if it doesn't go in first time, it'll go in second time. It's like an unmissable bank. Nicely off the rail. And in it goes. And that's the only thing. He didn't want that collision in the 8. But he's okay. I'm confused here. I'm falling asleep. I was thinking that was Larry at the table, or am I out of sync? Let me leave the room. Hang on. I think my head's out of sync. I think that's what it is. I think it's because it's past my bedtime. Let me go back in. No, it's right enough. My head's out of sync. It's one rack all. Right, I'm seeing it now. Larry's got ball in hand. And we've got a bit of a mess up the top end. Across the table. Oh, that's worked out nice. Perfect little nudge on that 5. And Larry can use the 6 to brush off the 6 and get out and up the table slightly for this 5 ball, I think. Let's have a look. Might be hitting it too thick. Let's have a look. Well, he's probably going to brush into it, but not much by the looks of it. No, he's not going to get anywhere near it. Well, the problem ball will be the 7, unless Larry can get reasonably straight on this 6, which doesn't look difficult to do. Well, he's actually fine. He can drop through onto the 7. Again, it just needs a good angle in the 7 because the 8 ball goes. So the 8 doesn't have to be moved. You just have to get on it. And that is perfect. A little soft draw off the 7 for the 8 into the same pocket. And well, ideally I wanted to be off the rail. He's just going to brush onto this 9. And that's where it's gone wrong. Relying on a bit of luck there for this 9 ball. It's a thin cut. And in goes the 9. So Larry into the lead. And Simanx just has to pounce when he gets that chance, if he gets that chance. Larry's broke off in rack number 4. The 3 ball has gone, but the 1 ball, well, pretty much tied up by the looks of it there. Not a lot to go by. And I somehow don't think Larry played that. He played to hook his opponent behind that 4. Maybe he did play it. He's left himself the thin cut in the 2. Look more like the safety behind that 2. Mind you, the pace that he played it at was a bit harder than I thought to actually play the snooker behind the 4. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But he certainly did the right thing there. Well, again, like we say, the 4 is the ball to hit, but the 5 and the 8 are in an awkward place. Well, there's a bit of luck for you. He's managed to hit the 4, and not only that, he somehow managed to avoid splitting up the 5 and the 8, which just means that it makes it more difficult for Larry at this visit. And he's certainly not got a great angle here in this 4 ball to do anything. And the question is, can he get the potting angle in that 5? Right, well, it looks to me at that angle that he has to be hitting into the jaw. Aye, it has to go into the jaw. So, a gift of an opportunity here for Simanx. And in it goes. And that's the type of things that, unless Simanx can start pulling out some pots, he's just going to have to rely on these errors by Larry. But you would honestly think it's going to take 9 decent errors for Simanx to win this, unless he starts making his own opportunities. But anyway, the scoreboard says otherwise. We're at 2 racks all at the moment. And it's a 2-7 combo. Where's the 9 going? I thought I was going in for good measure. And all of a sudden it's 3-2. And this time, rack number 6, the break is dry. 2 and the 4 ball are tied up. Surely Larry's not trying a 2. I thought he was going to play a 1-8 combo there. Well, he's banked to 1. There was never going to be any shot in the 2. The question is, can he just brush past the 2 and hook Simax behind the 4? That might be the plan here. And it's all about just controlling the pace. Well, he's gone the other way. That's a strange one, because that was never ever, unless he avoided that 7 and 9 ball there, there was no way he was going to get a hook. Excuse me. Well, a draw off the 4. 2 or 3 inches off that 4 ball would be ideal. Comfortably would have been better coming further up the table. It just means he's going to run through probably for the 6 ball into the left middle. I don't know whether he can draw off the 5 and take the 6 into the right middle, but either way, that's a no man's land shot. That's a neither here nor there shot, that one. And that's immediately put the pressure on him. That's a good shot. A good recovery. Well, simple enough to go forward with this shot. There's plenty of room in the table. Got to get lots of spin forward. But once again, Larry's not getting into it enough. Needed a bit more on it. He still got the cut, but it just means that the cue ball's running a bit more, and it's very easy to run behind this 9 ball and go up beyond the 9 ball, which is the fatal mistake in this shot. If you're going to go behind the 9 ball, you've got to go behind it and out, and that's what he's done. But he's misjudged it, and he's gone a bit too high. So again, he's going to have to dig out a good cut here on this 9. He's just making life difficult for himself. And I still say, Larry, it's that bloody rollerball mouse that does it. I've tried them, I know what they're like, and I still think you don't have as good a feeling control, which gets you out of line too many times. But anyway, he left himself a difficult one in that 9, and he's left in turn a difficult cut along the rail for Simax, but that's well played, and that's 2 gifts for Simax, and he's taken them, and he's now 4-2 in front. Well, another dry break. Nothing doing for Simax in the break, or very little going for him when he's getting a break. And Larry's coming to the table, and I think this is where the comeback will start, because again it's an instance where the balls are sitting pretty good. The only problem here is Larry's gone straight on the 3, and the 4 ball is over on that left hand side, and it's only going into one pocket. And again, that 7 ball in the way of the draw shot, and he's left himself ugly on this 4. This is not easy. He could go for a bank, and he can go for the cut, but it's the same problem. He's leaving himself out of line. And Simanx, well, he's got the same problem. A very thin cut or a bank, but he only needs the 4 and the 5. Well, he just has to hope he gets lucky here. And if that 4 ball keeps running, well, the cue ball has come beyond it. So Larry's now, provided he can get this 4 ball away and get on this 5, you would think he's home and dry in this rack. But the other thing to remember as well is Larry's had a good, half an hour or more sitting there waiting in the 1 loss side final getting finished. The tournament's been on for, well, not that far off 3.5 hours. We're not getting any younger, shall we say. I'm certainly not. And I'm tired actually sitting watching this for 3.5 hours pretty much. So you just tend to lose the concentration a bit after that amount of time nowadays. So Larry's now sitting fairly pretty on this 7 ball. Just wants to roll up the table a bit. And if he leaves a good angle from that right hand side, he can drop in off 2 rails onto this 9. That's probably what he can do here. The only fatal mistake here is running into the 9. He might just want to baby this in really gently, but I would tend to want to either come off that rail and across or go forward and in behind. He has to miss the 9, and he's done it, and that was well played. That's the only fatal thing you'd do there, is just running into the 9 ball. So that's 1 back for Larry. And it's Larry's break in rack number 8. And he too looks to be hoping for something to go down, but nothing's gone. It's come up dry, but it's come up safe. Nothing doing. And there is nothing safe here. Now Simanx, again, looking at the push out. Now you have to get wise with the push out. Now if he plays anything down here, he's going to be buried in a second or two. Larry is going to stick him behind that 8 and 3. That is just an open invitation here. And this is why when you play a push out, you have to keep your wits about you and what you're doing. You're digging a hole for yourself if you're leaving your opponent to come to the table with an easy safety. And that is what you don't want. And that was just an open invitation for Larry just to fill his boots and bury Simanx behind the 3 and 8. And now Larry's got the prize. There's nothing changed in the table. All the balls are sitting there, and Larry will just take his time. He's having a look at the 2. He's seen that the 3 cleanly goes past the 9, and he can get to the 3 no problem, making sure he doesn't go too much of an angle. The only problem I can see here is immediately when you look at the 3, it's getting onto that 4. And it looks simple enough, but it's not that easy to do. Now from this angle, he's going to use the 8 as a stopper. He's just going to run into that 8 slightly unless he's drawing off it an awful lot, but I don't think he'll be doing an awful lot of that. And he doesn't want to knock the 8 safe next to the 6 either. Now look at where the 8's going. Now, he's out of line slightly, but if you look at the 8 and the 6, they've now become a problem. And that was all because he was brushing into the 8 and couldn't avoid it. And he's given himself a problem to deal with now. So provided he pots the 4 and he gets on the 5's so far away from the 6, it's nigh on impossible to get a good shot on this 6. Where the hell's the 6 ball going to go? And he's going to have to try and move something here. And this is Simanx's only hope here, that Larry can do something with this cue ball. And, well, that's an excellent attempt. He's nudged the 8 away. He's left a very thin cut in the 6. It actually is not a bad looking bank either, but he would only have one go at it. That's the problem. So all the eggs are into one basket here. The bank has to go. He's only got one shot at it. It's not going to double bank because of the 7 and the 8. And it's as clean as a whistle. But same again. That 7 is a good bank into the middle. Stone dead on the 8 if he pots it. And he's missed it. How's his luck? Well, it's not good. It's another gift of a shot for Simanx to open up the gap. And that's how easy it is to lose a rack in Larry's situation. When you're giving away 5 and out, there's so much pressure on you to do what's expected, and you get yourself out of shape on one ball and everything piles on you. Because you know the consequences are missing. It's exactly what happened there. Simanx just ready to pounce. So it's 5-3 to Simanx. And Larry looking for cover. And again, we're in a similar situation. All the balls wide open. Simanx needs to hit and needs to get it safe. He's missed a hit. And once again, Larry's got to run out. And the problem immediately is the 5 ball, because it's easy to pot the 2 and 3. It's easy to get on to the 4. But you've got to get good on the 4 to get to the 5. And the 5's only going to go into that right hand top corner pocket, I think. It's unlikely that he's going to finish in the top side of the 5 behind it to take it up the table into this bottom left. He's looking to get over here for that 5 ball. As I say, it's unlikely he's going to be playing it from up this end of the table. So it's what he gets on this 4 that matters. Now that kiss on the 8 ball hasn't changed anything. And this is the shot. He has to go over to this side over here to have some sort of shot in the 5. And that is pretty much as good as you could ever think of doing. The only problem is he's dead straight in the 5, so he can only go forward. If he's going to jet that cue up and try and draw something off the 5, he's not going to have any great chance of doing it. Now the question is he trying to play for the gap? No, he's digging in. He's digging in, and again, this is not cut and dried. He's got a bit more angle than this on this 6 ball than he wants. And the 7 again is only gone into, well, if he really wanted to juice things up, he could draw off the 6 and probably draw over here and get somewhere behind the 7. You need to really dig into it. Right, he's dug into it, he's got behind it. Now, If he just gently rolls the 7 in, he's going to nudge onto the 9 and the 8, and then he has to rely on luck. Now the 8 is going into the top corner pocket there, but he's going to nudge into them one way or another. I don't think he can avoid it. He just has to get lucky. He doesn't want to get too thick a hit on this 9. He has to go through this shot, and it's gone safe, and that was the problem. He had no real idea where everyone was going to finish, because it all hinged on how thick he hit the other ball. So now he's got a, it's not a dead set bank, he's going to have to make it. And he's played it well. Now once again, he's got too much juice on it, the cue ball's run away round the corner. And this is not an easy gimme, this shot. But this to get back within 1. Well, that's a good run out. That was hard work. It was hard work, but it got the job done in the end. So Larry back to within 1, trailing 5-4. The 6 ball's gone in, and now the danger is there. Larry's got the ball in the break. He's got to get rid of that 9 ball, surely. He's got no shot in the 1, and if he leaves any sniff on that 1 ball, Simax is going to slam it onto the 9 and pot it. So Larry's going to get rid of it, and it'll get respotted, which is the right shot to do. So that takes away that danger. Simax has had a blast at the 1. And he's got lucky. Now, can Larry get that 1 thin enough to get around the corner and away from the 1? Yes, he can. And that's a good shot. It'd have been great if he could get behind the 9, but it's still pretty good safety. Well, that double kiss hasn't helped Simax. It's brought the 1 off the rail. And Larry's going for this. And he should be on the 2, provided he avoids the 9 and doesn't hit it, which he's managed to do. And this should just be a gentle roll in the 2. Nothing fancy. Just enough pace to pot the 2 and no more, and keep that cue ball in the table. And likewise with the 3, if he's straight enough, he just kills it stone dead, this cue ball. Absolutely stone dead where the 3 is. Well, he just rolled it in. Now, this is the important one. He doesn't want to leave too much of an angle. He doesn't want to leave the cue ball where the 4 is. He wants to stun across. So he has to hit this fairly firmish just to get it across. And that looks perfect. Now that angle that he's got there should bring the cue ball off the rail and up here past the 9 and the 8 for that 7 ball. That's what he's looking at. Oh, there's the mistake again. He's perfect in the 7, but he's blown it in the 5, and it's a gift again for Simax. And these unforced errors from Larry are costing him dearly. And, well, the one thing in Larry's favour is it's a race to 9, but he can't be doing too many more of them. So it's now back to 6-4 to Simax. A ball's gone in, and it was Simax's money ball, or one of the money balls, the 5 ball. It gets respotted. Simax stays at the table. No shot in the 1. He could reverse bank this over in the left hand middle. Well, he's gone for the cut the other way. I'm sure the one goes past the 9. Yeah, plenty of room. And he can just get out onto the 2 as well. 3's on that side rail. Well, this time it's really, well, the problem again I see here is just getting from the 5 to the 6, and it all just hinges on the type of angle that Larry has in the 5. So if he pots this 4, he has to run through to come off the side rail and the end rail at the bottom here. I think that's the angle he's got. He needs to force this in to get the cue ball around the corner. So he's gone around the corner, he's come out, and this is the important one. Now, he can stun the 5 in and run into the 8. And that would hold him for a shot in the 6. Now he's chosen to run through. Now, again, with that shot, at that pace, he had to be blocking himself out with the 8. He refused to play the stun shot that time. So now, well, I think he thought he could see enough of that to maybe cut it. He pretty much nearly got it. Well, it's a chance for Simanx. Now, again, he has to watch the pace. He's either going for the pot or he's trying to bank it. And he's in danger of scratching as well if he hits this that hard. He's avoided the scratch, but his chance has gone. Because Larry's going to clear up from here. No doubt about that. Well, again, depending on the angle, it's probably a draw. It looks a bit too straight. Played a little draw off it. Now, this shot I like to play a kind of draggy shot. And that's what Larry's done there. A little draggy shot just to kill the pace off the cue ball and stop it getting running about. So Larry, once again, gets him. Now, the story of the match so far is he's got himself back to within 1, and then he goes and misses something and leaves an easy gift for Simanx to open up the gap again. Be interested to see what happens in this rack. So we're into rack number 12, race to 9 in the final. Simanx player 2 and he's getting 5 and out. Larry's come up dry. And Simanx has got no shot in the 1. He's had a blast. And immediately I can spot the danger straight away. And this 9 ball is very adjacent to the corner pocket. And that's the concern I have in this situation when you're given 5 and out. Is having that 9 ball close to that corner. And Larry's got to be careful what he's doing with this 1 ball. He doesn't want to give any opportunity to send it down onto that 9. And he's hit that too heavy. Trying to put the cue ball in behind the 7. Now, there's a good chance for a safety here. Thin off the 2, but he's actually ended up hitting the 2 ball twice. What can Larry do here? Well, Larry's certainly got the angle to go thin off the 2. He's going to try and hide up in the corner as long as he avoids the 8. And that's a beautiful shot. That is straight out of my safety book, that one, Larry. Now, the worst thing Simanx could have done there was somehow nudge into that 3 and 6. He's avoided that. He's given ball in hand, but he's given Larry the problem to deal with on the 3 ball. And Larry's looking at the potting angle on the 3, and that does go, provided he can get the cue ball into that sort of area. If he can get it between the gap, in fact, the closer he can get to that 8 ball, the better. And that is on a dime, as they would say in the States. That is perfect. But he's still got the problem of getting on the 4. He has to avoid the 6, if he can, and come back across the table somehow. Either that side of it or this side. Either way he's going to have a shot in the 4, either cutting it down this side or cutting it past the 6. He's avoided the 6, he's come back across, so he's going to have the awkward one down this cushion here. And it's even more awkward when you consider where the 5 ball is. And again, he has to try and avoid this 6. But if he somehow drew into the 6, made the pot, he's got to be on the 5. It's difficult to see what he's actually trying here. He's not doing enough, I think, to run right into the 6, and he's not. And he's missed the pot in the 4. Actually finished pretty nigh perfect in the 5, believe it or not. And Simanx is going to spin in to the corner, and that's unlucky, that one. But once again, I think in the last 2 racks, Simanx has had that one chance. And this time, the outcome is he's scratched. And his chance is definitely gone. But more importantly for Larry, he's not gifted a rack this time. And he's going to get it back on level terms. Well, I say he hasn't gifted a rack here. He's absolutely blown that one out the water on this 8 ball. He's left himself a hell of a shot on this 8. Well, in it goes, but he should never have been there. But he's managed to dig himself out a hole. And so Larry finally gets it back on level terms and breaks off in rack number 13. But it's another dry break. This time though, Simanx can see the 1. Now he needs to get a lot of left-hand English on this. And he's got a lot. He's missed the 7 and he's perfect in the 2. Well, there's the best shot he's played tonight. And he's dead straight in the 2. So not a lot of juice on it. Now remember, Simanx only has to pot the 3, the 4 and the 5. The 5 goes past the 9. And he's fairly straight in the 4, but if he's going to go forward, he has to get, well, he didn't get enough in it. He's left himself an awkward cut in the 5, but the 5 does go past the 9. And this, well, he didn't mess about. He slammed it in, and he's back into the lead. Well, I think that is that the first time tonight that Simanx has been getting 5 and out, and he's actually potted the 5 balls from the start of the rack to get to the 5th ball. I think it is, but it doesn't matter. It was well done, and it's done at the right time. That's what counts. It's got him back into the lead, and it keeps the pressure on. That's the that's a perfect example of where you're getting 5 and out, and you have to play with the common sense enough to pot those balls. You're not going to do it all the time, but you have to do it on the important occasions, and that was one of them. And that's how you're going to win tournaments like this, when you're getting such a heavy handicap against a much stronger player. Now here's an opportunity to play a good safety. He's blasted the bank in. Well, Simax has made his mind up. He's not hanging about. He wants to get to bed, and either way, he's going to do it all guns blazing, and either winning with his boots on or dying with his boots on. One of the two. Well, it's going to have to be a damn good shot in this 5 to win this one. And that is a damn good shot, and Simax has finally woken up. It's now 8-6. What's he been doing all night? The 8 ball goes in, the 9 ball goes in. No, sorry, the cue ball goes in. It's a scratch in the break. And, well, Larry is coming to the table, ball in hand, and he's not hanging about. It's going to be a 2-9 combo. No Mr. Nice Guy in this situation. Get that 2 onto the 9, get onto the next rack. Well, surely that 2 ball goes past that 7, that 8. You're joking. It doesn't. That is, I thought that 2 ball went past the 8. Well, Larry's going to have to do it the hard way, unless he gets behind the 3 and nudges the 3 onto the 9, but he's going to have to do it the hard way. Well, he's trying to do it with the 3 onto the 9. Now, the question is, that 9 is beyond the middle pocket halfway mark. And that, well, he didn't play to pot the 5, I'll tell you that. I'm pretty certain he didn't. I'm sure he was trying to cut the 9 in, but the 9 was just beyond the halfway mark of the pocket, and it would have been easy to nudge it onto the jaw. Well, surely he's going to tell me he didn't play the 5 ball. But he's got no shot in the 3. The 9 is hanging over the pocket. Whatever he does, he has to keep the 3 safe. He can't leave it anywhere near the 9. He's trying to knock the 9 in. He's avoided that. He's left the 3 on. So now, with the 5 ball gone, Simax comes to the table, leading by 2 racks. Needs a nice kiss in the 4 here. He hasn't got it, but he's going to be playing the bank. And the cue ball will be up for the 6 as long as he doesn't slam this far too hard. Well, it's kept straight. Oh, he's got the second prize, I think, has he? No, let me have a look. I don't think Larry can get to the cutting angle in that 4. I don't think he can. He's going to have to play the bank, and I don't think the bank's that good either from that angle. No, he's just trying to get it as thin as he can. Oh, this looks nice. Oh, I thought it was going to go the other side of the 6. Well, that 4 ball will bank past the 9. He's had a slam at it. It's an old hit and hope. Where's the 4 ball going? Well, it could have finished in a worse place. It's in no man's land. And put it this way, Larry's going to have to thin cut this in if he's going to get any shot in that 6. He's going to have to cut this into this bottom right hand corner as we look. And he's decided that's too much of a risk. He's just looking for distance. And has he got the cover? It looks like he has. Well, that's an excellent shot. And same thing for Simax. Just hit it and hope. And the outcome is not too bad. Oh, this is such an important rack. Simax leading by 2 racks. Just needs the 1. And Larry, has he got the cover again? Not this time. And the only problem is that is dead straight. And if Simax puts too much top in this, he's going to get straight into that corner pocket, I think. Yeah. Well, he's going to be able to see the edge. Now, can he get this thin enough in order that he doesn't move it much? And it's difficult to pick out the edge on that cushion because it's the same bloody colour. That's the difficulty I have. Oh, now Larry's got an even tougher one as well. And this will pop past the 8, but the cue ball is going dangerously up to that top left-hand corner if he doesn't do anything. He has to be careful, that's why he's digging into it, and that's an excellent shot. So Larry's having to battle his way in this match now. And he needs to get up the table for this 8 ball. Anywhere up by the middle pocket, he needs to make sure he gets up, well up beyond it. I think he's dead straight, is he? Well, has he got enough spin in that? He should be okay. And you just go across off the side rail and back across to where he is now, and that would be perfect. So, Larry trying to get back within 1 and breaking off in rack number 16, trailing by 8 racks to 7 in this race to 9. And we've been in the tournament now for 3 hours and 50 minutes, near enough anyway. And Larry's broke off. And a couple of balls have gone, the 5 and the 8. He's got an awkward shot in the 1, which if he can just drop it in, he'll have an awkward cut in the 2, but at least he'll be able to get up the table. Now, he's not going to have any real shot in this 3 unless he can just get enough side on it to come down this side. I think he can. It's all about pace, and he's overhit it. Overhit it by quite a margin, and now he's got no shot. Well, he's got the distance, but that is a good double bank, a reverse bank into this bottom pocket, but Simax again has just had a blast at it. I don't know whether he lined it up at all. But Larry's not going to waste this opportunity. He's 8-7 down. 4 ball hanging over the pocket. He just has to make sure he doesn't block himself out on it. He's avoided that. And it looks very likely that we're going all the way. Well, this is where you spin the cue ball behind the 9. Well, you must have had it straight enough. If you didn't have it straight enough, you spin it behind the 9 and come out. So he obviously had it straight enough. So Larry ties the match up. We're 8-all, and he's breaking off in the 17th and deciding rack. 8 ball goes into the right middle pocket, and he's no shot in the 1. Now, well, he's certainly going to move this 9 ball. Now, is he trying to just brush off the 1 and go behind the 6? No, he's nudged into the 6 and leaving the 9 there as a blocker. That was well thought out. But the kick off this side rail, anything can happen. Well, he's managed to hit the 1 and not move the 9 at all. But the 2's now tied up. Well, if there's a danger for Larry in his situation, it's that 7 ball. It's very close to the middle pocket. Larry's potted the 1. He's got no shot in the 2. And he's just looking for cover here. And again, it's about keeping that 2 ball away from the 7 and hiding it. And he's managed to do that, I think. And I don't think he can get between it. Can he get between it? He can get between it. And the 7 ball, no, in fact, the cue ball is scratched, has it? Yep, cue ball scratched off the 7. So, ball in hand for Larry. An immediate problem is getting from the 2 to the 3. The 3's not going in past the 7. And really, he's either going to finish down here on the 3 for it into the middle or long, or he's going to try and get over this side, which he's trying to do. And that is extremely unlucky. That's just 3 or 4 inches too far, and he's blocked himself out. And this is the shot that's going to decide the match effectively. He needs to get the hit in the 3, and he's not only hit the 3, he's going to fluke it. No! How unlucky is that? That was a dead set fluke on the 3, and then of course the cue ball runs into it and kills it. Oh. And it's all ended up safe. No harm done. No shot for Larry in the 3. Trying to hide it behind the 6. Oh, that's not a bad effort again, but this time he's left the 3 on. Now Simanx, if he can get on this 4 into that middle pocket, he needs to hit it. You've got to hit it. And he's left Larry hooked behind the 7. He's had no shot in the 4. Didn't hit it hard enough to get anywhere out into the 4. And he's got away with it. That's the luck you need. And Larry needs a bit of luck here. I would just have a bash at it. Have a slam. And hit and hope. Oh, he's tried to bank up the table. That's a superb shot. That's a match winning shot right there. If he could see enough of it, could he cut it onto the rail and make the bank up the table? That was excellent. And that's the match winner. It has to be. Dead straight in the 5, and he can't really get off this rail. Now, what's he done here? He's okay. And he's got a good angle to get up onto the 7. Now, where's the cue ball going? Oh, well, that's fine. Again, perfect angle off the top rail and down this side for the 9 into the corner. That's the shot. Well, the winning shot was the bank up the table. That is a shot that makes Larry deserved winner. And Larry wins the match and the tournament. Wins the match by 9 racks to 8. And, well, it was a good comeback in the end. He was pretty much 2 racks behind all the way through that one. But in the end, the class came through and Larry's won the tournament. And the tournament has just finished probably 3 minutes short of 4 hours. And I'm going to go away and try and get this damn thing fixed so I can see any chat, because I've seen absolutely no chat all night. Well, apart from Polament's chat 4 hours ago and then nothing since then. And I'm going to try and get my little doodler fixed as well. So with that, folks, if there's anybody still out there watching, thanks for watching. And we will see you again sometime, no doubt.